is another episode of UFO Garage.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Joe, and this is where we talk about UFOs, aliens, and all things weird. Woo!
You know what I'm saying?
Welcome, everybody. How you doing this fabulous Thursday evening?
Fabulous.
Are y'all ready to get down? Let's get down.
I'm ready to get down, dude. Let's bump up the music back in again.
That's right. We got a good one for y'all tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the melodies. What's up, everyone? Jake, Lynn, Big Willie, Champ, Big Willie again, Champ again, Big Willie again. I'm just reading down the comments section. You know, you
Hell
guys,
yeah, dude.
you guys are all commenting, all cool and stuff.
Oh, Tupacabra's here. What's up, dude?
Toop, what's up, Toop?
Toop. Ben.
UFO Garage is in the house.
Oh, shit.
That's
For
us.
real? Did you say
Indiana.
What's
up? How are you? We've heard of those topics. We'll definitely have to get into those.
I've heard of them a couple. I've heard a couple times. Tonight.
That's right.
It's the first time.
20 and back. makes you look
Been
younger.
there, dude.
Yeah.
Been there.
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
the cardboard box, dude?
I remember. It comes out
comes
with a
out.
lollipop and a. That's pretty.
Guys, I look amazing.
You look amazing. Oh man, how is everybody tonight? This is gonna be a fun one, dude. I'm pretty excited about this. We're so prepared tonight.
We're so prepared.
We got
We even
everything working. Audio's good. Timestamps, man. It's gonna be like a well-oiled machine,
We even did the intro correctly for the first time in 3 years.
dude. The first time we've ever gotten it done.
Oh my God, Melissa, great to see you, girl. She said,
Where's your-
finally.
Where's your applause button at? Oh, that doesn't work over here, does it? I always forget.
Yeah, it doesn't work anymore. They cut that. It was like an Easter egg in the system that I found, and they patched it. It was to
Jerks.
prevent tomfoolery and skylarking.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
So what you been up to, man?
Dude? I've been chipping them up. You know what I'm saying? I was just in Mexico.
Mexico? It's pronounced Mexico. Dude.
Mexico, Puerto Vallarta. Dude, it was dope. It was so awesome, man.
It is pretty tight.
We went golfing,
You went golfing?
bachelor
Dude, you-
party.
That's what's so good about Mexico is that you can golf there.
That's like what the reason why people go is strictly for golf. And I was one of those people this past weekend, past 5 days. And I'm not a golfer. It's too small. It's too small of a ball for me to act upon. I need something bigger, like a kickball. You know, I could do some damage with a kickball, bro. I use
That's
my
right,
shins. I use my face. You know, even a baseball, I could wrap my head around it. But a golf ball, it's a joke.
It's
Anyway,
a little tougher, man.
I took a lot of photos, and the majority of the photos were just of animals that I saw on the course, because they had they had iguanas, and they had like alligators. They had a cat. I posted a photo of a cat.
Little kitties.
Here's one of the iguanas.
I like it, dude.
Huge, dude.
You could work for National Geographic.
Yeah, dude, totally.
You should send that in to Time Magazine.
You think they'd like it?
I think they would. They may, or they would be like, we got another iguana photo. Like
exact same
crazy. It'd be so crazy. Like Time Magazine just receives like a ridiculous amount of like iguana photos. Like,
Let me guess, you took this on the golf course in Puerto Vallarta.
how'd you know?
Well, I'm not as original as I thought. What they don't know about this photo is just prior to this, he was sitting in an Adirondack chair with a cigar and some Oakleys on.
He had sunglasses.
Yeah, he had sunglasses.
He was wearing puka shells.
Puka shell. he had his little blades up top, frosted tips up top.
Frosted tips.
We're Quicksilver sandals, dude, with the bottle top openers.
Yes.
He was on a flip phone making a call for like 30 minutes.
God. He had like an old school one. It was like one of those car phones that you had to put in a suitcase and you could like take it out, take it with you, open it up and pull up the big antenna. Like,
Yes.
It was like way bigger than him, like the whole suitcase.
Except for this one was made for iguanas.
He had a butler carrying it for him.
The human butler that was carrying it.
Iguanas are tight.
Iguanas are tight, dude. They know something we don't, man. Just basking in the sun, getting free food all
Just
day,
hanging out on the beach.
being cool as shit.
They know something we don't, you know.
There was like these little trees that had little fruits, and they would I don't know if it's like a crawl.
It's called they call it shimmying.
It's more of aggressive, like an aggressive crawl. They have freaking biceps, and they would go over and just chew these fruits whenever they please. It was glorious. I was jealous, dude.
Could you eat the fruit or no?
I don't know. I didn't ask. They had bodyguards, so I was not allowed. The iguanas did. I was not allowed too close to the fruits.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Well, dude, tonight, so everybody listening right now, I guess, and later.
Forever, really.
Whenever you want to.
The
really.
internet is forever, dude.
Dude, did y'all see that Tucker Carlson and Gary Nolan interview last week?
Who saw it? Show of hands.
Show of hands. Who saw it?
If you haven't seen it, you should stop this and watch it right now. Come back and listen to. We're gonna talk about it tonight, dude.
We're gonna go through it. We're gonna kind of break it down, man, because like for me, this was like one of the most digestible interviews on the topic that I've heard in a long time, dude. Like just the way he talked about it and broke it down. It was just very like matter of fact. Was pretty refreshing. It was really, really good. And I feel like I was telling you a little earlier, like I've had like this dam built up and a blockage in my mind kind of with the topic, and just like hearing him talk kind of like opened it up again. Like it just let some stuff flow. Like I feel like I was just sitting on so much stuff, just pondering it in my head. And it felt like this kind of just like released a little of that tension, and now there's some flow. I'm able to like kind of think again and like maybe put some pieces where they need to go. You know, my hands were full. I couldn't put any more in my hands. I had to put some shit down. And that's what this interview did for me. I feel like it kind of allowed me to like put some stuff down and like set it off to the side. So we can kind of, you know, get through this a little bit more. Very good.
It's like taking in the groceries, you know. We get home, you know, wife and I, we get home in the garage. There's so many bags, so many plastic bags. I want to grab all 24 of the bags and set them down on the counter, but it is actually more efficient to grab a few at a time, put them on the counter, organize them where they need to go, you know.
Yeah.
And then go back. But like just as a visual, I totally relate to that. Like it's been like we've been collecting all this data, all this knowledge. Can we call it knowledge, or are they ideas? Until now, they felt like ideas.
Yeah.
There's been specific people telling us ideas and experiences that haven't been like, I don't know. It's not that they needed to be proven, right? It's just nice to hear a Stanford professor who is a really smart dude confirm a lot of that stuff.
And it's not that like he was saying anything that like other people weren't already saying, right? He just packaged it so well. Like he took all of the stuff that kind of people were saying and he like put it together. And I think Tucker did a good job at like kind of asking some like pretty good questions, you know? Like
I think Tucker did a great job.
Yeah. And like when we go through this tonight, I kind of want to go through it with the mindset of like, because this is how I saw it, right? If I wasn't interested in the topic or like I didn't really know much about it, that was very easy to digest. Like that interview would hit you like, oh, really? Wow.
Yep.
You know, because you hear some of these other guys talk on like, you know, 60 Minutes or whatever, and they're just very like, they're saying it, but they're not saying it. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like,
Well, it's because we know, we know the real story.
It's like pulling teeth watching these people on TV. It's so like, come on, just say what you need to say. And this wasn't like that. So it was very relaxed, and he was just kind of like, yeah, well, it's like this.
Super chill. Good. Like the vibes. I mean, Gary crushed it. I mean, okay, so Tucker Carlson, huge deal. That's the first point. The second point is you're talking about some stuff that a lot of people are probably going to give you shit on, and he was super chill about the entire thing. And yeah, I'm basically repeating what you're saying, but there was no anxiety. It was nice to hear that on a public, widespread media platform in such a succinct way. Like he didn't hold anything back. It felt like, well, a couple things, but like it was like he was unafraid. He's like unafraid to talk about this stuff. Super refreshing.
Yeah, it definitely was. And what's been really interesting too is that, like, through this whole thing, we met up with Eric Mitchell, and we started shooting this documentary with him. And he's going through all this stuff. He's telling us all this stuff that, like, that he knows, and we're listening to this and we're digesting it, and we're just like, whoa, that's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a whole lot. And so this whole time we're kind of sitting on like, okay, well, there's pieces to this that, like, yeah, we can grasp. And Eric's been telling us this stuff for almost 3 years now.
Yeah. So a little backstory for those that don't know, that are new to the show. And summer 2019, Joe and I, after being in a band together for 10 years, decided to start a podcast about UFOs and aliens. It's what we talked about every band practice before we started playing music. The band broke up. We were like, what do we do with our time? We start a podcast about UFOs, dude. And that following February in 2020, we meet Eric Mitchell, and this starts this whole rabbit hole of his story and the information that he brings to the table and the things that he's been telling us since then, since 2020, February of 2020, are a lot of it's coming out, dude. A lot of it's coming true. And at the time,
boxes, dude.
Yeah, at the time, it was like, yeah, no, okay, no, I believe you, but like, shit, can we get other people to like corroborate this stuff too? Like, how do we show this?
Yeah, it was like the hush hush stuff that is like now starting to come out. It's crazy. It was very difficult for a little bit. It was stressful. It's like, it's just so cool to like, to think that like we get mixed up with a project out of interest, and then you start following this line, and then all of a sudden you start seeing this stuff come to realization. Like, it's wild. You're like, what? It's fascinating.
It's wild. It makes me feel bad for like, hey, can you like show me your conversations with Gary Nolan? And there's some hesitation there because not to blame Eric for not being able to be completely open, because it's this new territory. Like, who knows? He's got a family to protect, and who knows? Because Gary says in this interview with Tucker Carlson that he was approached by the CIA. And as we know with a few other experiencers, that the CIA can fuck with you and kind of make your life miserable. So you kind of don't want to make a mistake and talking about the wrong people and saying the wrong names publicly. So of course he wasn't gonna come out publicly with a couple of these things. But now that those names that he was naming and the associations, the universities that he was naming, like, it's okay to talk about it now, because
it's
like,
just like boom,
that's
boom,
the guy he was talking about, Stanford University.
Yeah. Talk about the dominoes just like falling, right?
Yeah. So imagine, I mean, like just us listening. You and I. That was so much fun, texting back and forth, watching that interview with Tucker Carlson with Gary Nolan. I mean, I've been following some of the Gary's stuff for a little bit on Twitter and stuff. And there's been a couple things, like the New York Post posted something last year about Gary's interest in UFOs and aliens and his involvement with brain science and studies with experiencers and like trauma, and like some people have like died from that stuff, but they didn't go too far into it. But yeah, like it's a great freaking interview, dude. Let's do you want to start with the first kind of segment and kind of start breaking it down?
Dude, absolutely. Do you want me to pull it up, or do you? Here,
I'll press it. I press your button.
I forgot because we both had it pulled up at one point.
Oh, well, you're in control now. So
Okay.
whenever you see, we will see.
All right, so we're going to kind of watch this and we're going to break it down a little bit together, kind of get everybody's thoughts, see what you think. Like I said, man, I just think this was a really cool interview. So let's see. We'll start right here.
Been able to do before. And so it was circa 2011 or so when some people from the CIA and an aerospace company came to me to ask me for their help on the analysis of some individuals who had encountered some anomalous objects, they said. And I mean, they came to my office unannounced and then started laying out pictures and data on the table in front of me. And I honestly thought it was a joke. I thought it was.
Wait, so you're a Stanford professor, an immunologist doing medical research and building companies, and all of a sudden one day the CIA shows up at your office?
Because they.
Yeah. So, dude, right? He's saying the CIA comes into my office. Right before this, he's talking about basically how he developed this machine that works DNA, and it was like one of the leading machines and like helping with cancer and stuff like that. So they were like, we need somebody to run these materials. And they were like, oh, you got to talk to Gary Nolan. He's like the head guy. He's got like the best machine that he's invented and all this stuff. You got to talk to that guy. So he's saying, yeah, the CIA comes in with this material in my office and is like, hey, run this shit for some secret aerospace company, right? Which he doesn't name through this whole thing. I'm assuming Bigelow, right? Bigelow Aerospace.
I mean, it's got to be, right?
Because they're with their involvement with OSAP and stuff like that. So I'm assuming that this is because all those names and those CIA guys, it was all involved with this little program. So I'm assuming he doesn't name the aerospace program, but I would feel safe to put a few bucks on the fact that it was Bigelow, right?
I'll put a few does and bucks, dude. I'll put a whole deer family, whitetail deer family on that, dude. Like it's gotta be Bigelow, dude. It's gotta be some aerospace guy. He's got a pretty nice mustache.
Yeah,
I mean, it's gotta be, yeah. So
and Tucker's, I feel like Tucker's reaction to that is, that's like anybody, right? Wait a second. You gonna tell me the CIA just came into your college classroom and was like, "Hey, run materials on aliens"? He's like, "Yeah."
like,
wait, what?
I think Tucker secretly knows all this shit, and he's just kind of like, he's got to play his role as the masses informer. Like he's got to play not dumb, but he's got to pretend like it's news to him. I feel like he already knows the answers to this shit.
I think what we're witnessing with people like Tucker Carlson is their is that initial what is it? The novelty of it. You know how you just get so into something, and you're like, oh God, I got to know everything, right? Well, it just so happens that like Tucker Carlson became interested at the right time, right? Yeah. Because he's willing to like talk to these people on that level, and having, being willing to do that, it's easy for these guys to kind of hop on now. It's really cool.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
It seems like that for me too. Like Tucker Carlson was hot on this topic back in like
when the stories broke,
Yeah. Was it 2020 with dude, it all melds together. Like when the document came out,
Yeah.
he was like the first to report on it and be like not a dick about it and not make fun of it. I feel
Because remember, dude, like we even have an episode where we're like, who do we like? We didn't like Greg or something. That news anchor's name was Greg. He was like, it looks like a mosquito, little green man. And we're like, what? And then like Tucker Carlson came around and he was like, wait a second.
yeah.
I want to give you a chance to talk about this for real, right? Like, and you were like, okay, that's kind of cool. Here we go. And I'll be honest, 100% right out the gate, I was like, oh, this is going to be all bullshit. They're going to fluff this to the max.
But he didn't. I feel like he's pretty consistent on it. Anyway, let's play the next clip, dude. All
right, next clip.
What's the next time?
320.
320. Hell yeah. Ooh, Lynn says, boop that love button. People love that.
Oh, thank you.
How about a boop?
To 424. 320 to 424.
Hell yeah, dude. That's what's up, dude.
Oh, me? Am I doing it?
I said that's what's up, dude. Oh, you are in control of the video.
That's right. I forgot this. I have to go back to the tab and redo it, right?
Yeah. You get it now.
I get it now.
But you're really good at it so far. So
all right. Well,
you get a leg up on me.
That's promising. All right, here we go.
In my life.
So you had no deep knowledge of the topic?
No deep knowledge.
Were you surprised that a U.S. government agency was doing this kind of work? I mean, presumably the question was settled for them. They didn't wonder if UFOs are real. They knew at that point, right?
Right. No, of course. I mean, like I said, first I thought it was a joke. I mean, I really thought that somebody was about to put me on candid camera and make a joke of it. But as they started showing me the data and they were deadly serious, I mean, I tried to lure them into making a joke about it. They were deadly serious about it because they had basically said at that point, people have died. And then they showed me some brain images of individuals who had been damaged, and internal scarring you can see through MRIs. And, it's data. It's unmistakable. You have to say, okay, well, what did that? I can conjecture or hypothesize about, is it the Russians? Is it UFOs or whatever? But the fact is, there is data that says something is happening. And so we need to study it. And that's what a scientist should do.
So, of course. Oh, absolutely.
So first off, I just want to start this breakdown with shout out to Project Unity for posting this full interview on YouTube. They're like, it's the only place you can find it. Project Unity. If anybody's just listening or in their car, when you get home, look up Project Unity. I'll add it to the description so you can see the full interview. But
yeah, definitely. So up to this point, Gary Nolan is saying, the CIA came into my office and it was like, hey, seriously though, people have died and we need to figure this out.
So at this point, I'm like, oh shit, where's this gonna go?
Yeah.
Oh shit, where's this gonna go? I mean, there are millions of military forces that deal with some sort of trauma, and they get support by the VA, right? Like for various types of things. And there are, since the Rendlesham Forest case, the man that was and he speaks about this later, the man that was affected by this, touching this craft, was not given help by the veteran, like the medical help from ex-military.
Yeah.
Terry
John McCain had to step in and actually get him some help.
Yeah. Yes. Terry Lovelace, actually, our buddy Terry, his buddy that he had his experience with, he was not able to access his records.
Right.
Am I saying that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Toby. And he had a rough freaking time, dude.
Because whenever, they basically withheld his records. So he could never get any help because nobody could get access to his records. They held on to it.
Because hospitals in places that offer help that's very specific to brain injuries and traumatic injuries, They need a reason to treat you. They can't just go off of your word. They need data. They need a someone of authority to tell them what's wrong with you. We ran into this exact situation with trying to get Eric's skull X-ray for the documentary.
Seriously, man.
Remember how hard that was to get an X-ray? Like, you can't just walk into a facility or a hospital that does X-rays and just say, hey, I want an X-ray. You have to give them a reason. You have to have a doctor's note in a analysis, a reason to give this person an X-ray. So, I mean, we can't name names, but we did find a physician to give us a doctor's note to get that X-ray. Maybe we'll come out with it later, but I don't want to do it without his permission. But you did write a note that it was, we explained to him that, look, we felt the holes in his head. So that's a traumatic injury, right? So that's, that's what the note was written on. So they were like, okay, traumatic injury. Sure, we'll do an X-ray. If you pay $50. It was like $50.
Yeah. So I want to point out on this picture right here, there is this white brain matter in an MRI. And, Eric has told us, for years now, that he was like, apparently people who have these experiences, when they go under an MRI, some of them have this white brain matter, and usually white brain matter means dead brain matter, right? But in this case, it's more active. Apparently, this is what Eric was explaining. So here he's talking about the damage that's being done, right? The injuries that are occurring, and it's happening with people who are coming in contact with some of these things, right? But he goes on later to explain a little bit of that. But I think it's really interesting, and I'm wondering if, like, they're scratching the surface on, like, yes, head injuries do occur. They do have this white brain matter on the MRI, and maybe that's kind of where they're leaving it. I'm interested to see if, where it goes from there. Like, if they do start explaining, like, oh yeah, but there are also really active parts of the brain that glow white too.
Yeah.
It's not all damage. Like, they're just reporting damage right now to kind of get their foot in the door. And then
I see what you mean.
The next step will be, but also this white brain matter means activity.
Dude, okay, so I see what you mean. So in a black and white image, it's easy to see that obviously there's a difference between the two brains here. The white matter could mean injury, or it could mean insane activity. Yeah. So, like, if you're looking at anything black and white, there's always some gray area. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Trying to be philosophical with it,
dude. I mean, it's just crazy. It's a crazy image. All right, let's move on to this next one. Let's see. We got 7. Here we go.
Joe wrote, for everybody listening, Joe wrote timestamps like a boss, dude. I love that. You're smarter than me. I would have not. I was like, there's gotta be a tool. There's no, YouTube doesn't let me. Why don't you just write down timestamps, dude?
Yeah, it was easier because I was gonna timestamp. I know you can do it somehow, but I just didn't feel like figuring it out. I'll just write it down. It's way easier. All right, here we go.
But part of the issue with him was sort of a PTSD that nobody would believe him, right? And then when he tried to follow up it with the veterans.
This is going into what we were talking about earlier about the Rendlesham incident, and how he wasn't able to get help.
Yeah, this is one of those stories where it's like, it's just awesome to hear him talking about this aspect of it,
Yeah.
Like,
anyway, definitely.
It's just it's a detail that a lot of people skip over. I love it.
Definitely.
Sorry.
But part of the issue with him was sort of a PTSD that nobody would believe him, right? And then when he tried to follow up it with the Veterans Affairs office, the medical offices, they just denied him coverage, which was ridiculous, because he served his country, and yet they were ignoring him.
But the CIA believed him, it sounds like.
Yes.
Dude. Like, that's such bullshit. That's bullshit, okay?
The CIA believed him, but the medical industry was like, I don't want to touch that. That's too complicated.
The organization that is there to help veterans, I mean, first off, doesn't do a very good job. First of all, yeah. I mean, you hear so many horror stories about the VA, and it's absolutely sickening. But then on top of that, knowing that the CIA believed it, but the VA didn't believe it, and that the fact that nobody up there could help this guy at all, is that's infuriating. Like, that's
you know what's also infuriating too is that he's probably been saying the CIA knows about this for his whole life, and now it's the CIA is like the boogeyman. Like, anyone can say, well, the CIA told me, and that means one or the other. It's both. It's like, it could be true, it could be false, it could be both. It's just one of those gray areas, man.
Yeah, it's like by trying to be Switzerland and just like neutral, like, I don't know, you're pissing a lot of people off, because we all know that, like, I mean, come on, you do a lot of good stuff, right? But you also do a lot of fucked up stuff. Sometimes you have to do bad stuff, to make the good stuff happen, right?
We're talking about the CIA,
just in general, right?
Yeah,
the stuff that they have to do, I get it, it, right? But like in circumstances like this, man, I mean, the dude needs some help. Like, give him some help, right?
It's good. Just pass the note, be like, and just pay for it.
This isn't like you snuck into a foreign country, destabilized their government. Your guys got caught, and now you have to deny it, right? Yeah. It's like, hey, pull some fucking strings and get this guy some help, and you can still be quiet about it. Really?
Well, I mean, Ryan Gosling can only help so many people a year. I mean, the CIA does do a lot of great things. I'm sure of it.
Ryan Gosling is a hero.
Hey, I'm Ryan Gosling. Look, just because I'm wearing rollerblades doesn't mean that I'm incapable. Look, I'm faster than you, I'm smarter than you, and I'm more handsome. My name is Ryan Gosling, and I'm wearing rollerblades. Here, losers. And then he skates away. I'm in the CIA. That's... Have you seen that movie on Netflix? That's the show. That's the movie.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
Ryan Gosling on rollerblades.
That's fucking hilarious. All right, let's hit this next piece real quick.
What happens is that these cases and events kind of trickle up the chain and then get moved across the DoD and put in a bucket. Let's just call it the weird bucket.
These cases move up the chain and end up in some bucket. Let's call it the weird bucket. Or as we've also heard, the weird desk.
The weird desk, yeah.
The phenomenology desk.
Yes.
That little place in the Pentagon.
See?
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if that was just coincidence or if he was like kind of...
Yeah, I don't know if that's public knowledge or not.
Kind of throwing the hint.
He does name a name that Eric's been talking about for like 3 years.
He does.
Yeah.
And it's like, the weird bucket. Like, okay, I see what you're doing. I think that's a little strange. Was that, and it's one of those, like, was that carefully chosen words, or was that just,
it seems so sincere. It seems like he's chill as fuck. It seems very natural. I think he's been having this conversation. I think he's just it doesn't seem like he's trying to fool anybody with that. I don't know, but I get what you mean.
Yeah. Because it makes me wonder too. Sometimes, like, now Gary Nolan is talking about this.
Don't skip forward because I want to hear people hear the name.
Okay,
sorry, I thought you were about to skip forward. I just kind of wanted to see if he's going to say that name.
Okay, here, let me play it. Let's see.
Until enough of them have occurred, that somebody says, okay, there's something we should be paying attention to. Havana syndrome is an example.
Okay, no, he doesn't. Okay,
right?
it's later. Sorry,
it's a little bit later. I might actually have it in one of my little stamps.
Yeah,
written down stamps. But yeah, I don't know. It's almost like, okay, he's saying what he's saying. He knows what he's saying. He probably knows the people who want him to say things and not want him to say things.
Yeah,
but he's trying to, like, explain it. So maybe he's not saying words on purpose. Like, so like he would say weird bucket. So like if you understood like, oh, the weird desk, you would get these cases get passed up to the weird desk.
Yeah. So we could go super like into that on terminology. On it would be, you could link it back to who got that name from who. So you figure out where your information sources are coming from. So to one source of crowd of CIA to experiencers, it would be the weird desk, and another group of another agent, or maybe the same one, they would call it the weird bucket.
Yeah,
I mean, we could go down that rabbit hole for sure.
Maybe he started doing this and was like, yeah, I have this thing called the weird bucket, and they were like, well, we work at desks, we'll just call it the weird desk.
Yeah.
Or they were like, yeah, we have this thing called the weird desk, and he was like, well, all I have is this bucket, so we'll just call it the weird bucket.
If I only have one bucket in my house, and I put some weird shit in it.
Weird stuff goes in buckets.
Yeah, bro. Like old sausage links, a couple of staples.
That's pretty weird.
That's pretty weird.
All right, let's get into this next one. Here we go.
Come to me.
Interesting. So how many cases roughly?
About 100.
100?
Yeah. Now, of those, about probably 80 to 90% of them ended up being actually Havana syndrome. So as we were studying these cases, the guy who was doing the work, his name is Kit Green. He's a neurophysiologist and is also associated with the CIA. Used to be in the CIA.
Kit Green is the name that Eric gave us a long time ago. He said, "Do never say it publicly because you'll get in big trouble." And so, like, we haven't said anything about it. And then, dude, I was listening to Bledsoe Said So today, and they fucking named him like straight up.
They name a lot of stuff, yeah. And it's one of those situations where it's like, well, okay, I don't really, like who is this dude? And then you have like good stories, and then you have like not so good stories. And hey, I don't know the guy.
I don't know.
Don't come to my house. Don't tap my phone.
My sprinklers turn on at 9 p.m. Just don't walk. Your slacks will get wet.
I don't. Hey, look. Hey.
We don't know anything.
Hey.
Weird bucket.
Hey, that's all I'm gonna say. If you want to know more, watch the documentary.
Blue Jay.
Is that which one? Is that which one?
Yeah,
I can't ever
remember. Either Owl or Blue Jay that Eric told us.
I can't remember. The names are on the internet. The whole list is up there on the internet. It's crazy. Also no. So it also known as that. What was it? The Theoretical Physics Working Group. The reason the aviary came about is because people that were trying to talk about it called it the aviary instead of what it was actually called. And so they gave all these people in this program bird names so they could talk about it in secret about who these people were. So I don't think they were going around calling themselves the aviary. It was a group investigating them that gave them those bird names. Right. And that's how you knew what code name was. I believe that's how that situation works out.
I did not know that.
The Theoretical Physics Working Group is supposedly I think that's what Melinda had said. That's what she had looked into, and that's what it was. The bird names were a separate research thing that was like code so they could talk about these people.
Got it. Okay, I didn't know that. So they don't know each other's bird names.
Right. They were probably like, you got the parrot.
They're like making fun of each other. Like,
and over like, you're a hummingbird. Who the fuck are you?
Actually, hummingbirds are fucking dope, dude.
I mean,
if I had to choose between like a fat buzzard, man, I'd do hummingbird all day. I'm sneaky. Get in there. I hear I'm kind of like evasive. I find beautiful flowers, and everybody's like
nectar all day.
Everybody's like, I wish one would land on me. Fuck no. Hummingbirds they only land on like 2 people a year. Statistically.
That's it. Statistically,
and they posted on TikTok.
Doesn't happen, except for that one time that it did. I saw a video today on YouTube, and it was this UPS driver, and he was calling his boss, and he was like, "Hey, I have this bird and it landed on my shoulder and it won't leave. And this bird's just chilling. And he's like, what do you mean? Like a real bird? And the bird starts squawking and he's like, yeah, it's like a real bird. He's like, I think it came from somebody's house. And it just won't leave my shoulder. And like, he's trying to like move and the bird stays there. His boss is like, I don't know. And then like it switches to him getting in his UPS van with a fucking bird on his shoulder. It won't leave.
Was like a parrot?
Yeah, it's like a little parakeet thing.
Oh, that's fun. I like that.
Hilarious. He was like, yeah, I think it flew out of somebody's house and it just landed on him and then it wouldn't leave.
You are mine now. You would feed me.
Yeah.
You'll eventually feed me. I'm cute.
That's right, dude.
I'm a cute little bird.
That is funny.
I love it.
All right, let's see. Here we go. Here's the next one.
It's interesting. I don't know if you saw it. It also has language about UAPs and basically admonishing the Defense Department, saying you guys have been dragging your feet. No more. Whistleblower language. There was also a situation where they want to go all the way back to 1947. They want all the Defense Department and the CIA.
What happened in 1947, Joe?
All the information.
What happened in 1947?
Yeah.
Roswell.
Oh. Okay.
Around events that have occurred. They want all of, interestingly, the NDAs, the non-disclosure agreements. They want those all listed because the NDAs are associated to people, and that means they can start to name the people who have been involved. They want all of the information on the disinformation and the obfuscation that's been going on, and they want information about the medical harms that have occurred. Right, and that's all in the National Defense Appropriations Act for 2023.
Dude, so
bro, when I heard that, I'm like, yo, do you realize what this means?
That's yeah, dude. Like that's what you'll want to hear, right? Like those are the words you want to hear. Like that's cool because that was the problem with the earlier stuff was like, okay, you're only going back to 2004. Well, what about the rest of it, right?
Yes.
And now they're like, okay, look, we want to go all the way back to the big one, right? to the one that starts it all. Right?
Circling back when that document came out in 2020, the disclosure. Let's be honest, like that was disclosure, right? Like when the government came out and said, "Yeah, there's UFOs." We had a podcast like that night saying, "Yeah, this is fucking cool," but like, what about the? There's like a lot. There's just like 80 years of shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff. Where's that at?
Baby Goat asks, do you guys work for any government agency? I'm the postman.
Hell yeah. No, I don't work for the government, but if I did, I'd be a postman.
Yeah. Postman would be chill.
It was like a
it wouldn't. Rain, sleet, snow. I don't get down like that, dude.
The only reason I'll be down with being a postman is because they have a dope outfit.
Yeah.
I just look good in navy blue, man.
Dude.
The ladies love it.
So this new thing, like, that's kind of crazy because like all the people that are under NDAs, they're saying like, hey, you don't have to worry about that because this new organization that we're putting up bypasses all that. We don't want you to be stuck on that NDA. If you got some shit to say, come say it. Right?
Yeah.
Because this like overrides whatever.
Yeah. And
NDAs they put.
And the other half of that is people have been injured. So far, what we've been told is that they are pretty friendly. They're like, there's some lights in the sky, and there's narratives in certain sectors of the ufology world, or just fucking whatever. Everything's a gray area right now. Everybody's just figuring stuff out. And if you thought you knew what you knew, you're learning new shit every day. But I just appreciate that he said this, that, yeah, there's absolutely evidence that people get hurt from these experiences. Like, it's fucked up. And no one's talking about it, especially the government.
Yeah, and he goes into a little more detail on like
people getting hurt a little bit by these things. You know, I think he talks about like it'd be the same if you walked behind the engine of a jet on accident, right? Like it's kind of like the same thing. It's just it's not on purpose.
They didn't mean like I'm not saying like they are evil and mean to harm us, but there have been accidents, and we need to maybe talk about it and be like, yeah, dude.
Yep.
The fact that we can get hurt, like, and it's not just in our mind. That to me proved that this notion of we're making it up, this Havana syndrome, like it's all in our minds, and we're creating this, we're manifesting it. That disproved that if there's enough data in that weird bucket, in that bucket to prove like there's been enough people to raise some eyebrows to people that protect our country, millions of people, to be like, yo, enough people have gotten hurt. Let's take a look at this on accident.
Yeah.
It seems like most of those stories are on accident. I mean, other than Phil Schneider, it seems even then that story seems kind of like in self-defense, because he always talked about that big ass gun that he carried. I carried an 18,000 round revolver on my fucking forearm at all times.
It had a 7-foot barrel on it. Yeah, dude.
I usually use it for turkey hunting, but this time I took it as I went down that shaft that day, and it was too large. The metal detector did pick it up, and I do regret taking it.
Turns out I scared the aliens.
I did scare the aliens. It seemed like it seems like self-defense, bro. Like, you probably shouldn't have taken that fucking 18,000 round revolver, dude.
That was probably a bad idea, you know?
Like, yeah.
Yeah, and I also like the fact that he was like, look, 80% of them did have Havana syndrome. But it was the 20%, you know, I could hand them off to somebody else. It was that 20% that was then like what was interesting to me. That was my responsibility now. Was that what are the other 20% you know, experiencing?
Yeah.
You know? Let's see if I tagged it right here. Let me see.
You have a theory. Why do you think DOD or the U.S. government more broadly has lied about this for so long?
So I think that they were just afraid of admitting that they don't have control over the airspace. Yeah, that's one thing. But also, it's really back to what it is that I was saying before. We have the data, but we have, to the extent that there is proof that there's something else here, they didn't want anybody to know about it because they're scared of what the reaction might be.
Dude. Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Like, it's just crazy. Like, it's just crazy that, like, it's so cool to finally hear those words. Like, well, we have data that stuff is here. Like, it's here. Just very, like, I mean, yeah, it's here. What do you want?
I think that it's been here for a while. The data has been in the public eye. If you looked for it hard enough, you could find it. And now it's rising to the surface, dude. This, whatever this is that we're experiencing right now, is like a freaking daisy, dude. You buried it last winter. Spring. It showed for a while in the 60s, 70s, and it went down underground. And now, dude, it's coming back stronger than ever. And it's not just one flower, bro. It's 14 billion, dude. It's more like
billion.
It's more like bluebonnets, actually. Texas. If you ever seen a Texas bluebonnet patch, oh my god,
it's magical.
It's magical.
It's so blue.
It is blue. Yeah. It's a great explanation of this shit. Maybe purposefully, a lot of people think like, oh, the Illuminati, whoever is in control of this information wants to slowly leak it out, but like maybe it's just happening naturally, and people are just taking credit for it, trying to act like they're more powerful than they actually are.
Right. And then just other people are just kind of taking notice.
Yeah, dude.
You know,
or it's resonating a little more with them.
Definitely. Let's see what else Gary has to say.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. I mean, that's a human reaction.
It's a human reaction. Yes. But the other point is, I think that's...
Wait a second. Hold on. Sorry, I messed it up. Let me find it. There.
It's really hard to scrub on that.
It is. Very. Okay.
There's a way you can do it, but it takes a while.
I was using the arrows and it started messing with my screen, so I said forget it.
Scrub.
Oh no, I still.
Lynn
did
said
it wrong.
lube
Dang
that
it.
like button, dude.
Dude.
Hell yeah.
Party.
That's what's up. Who's got the party hard emoji? By the way, in the chat, listening. we gotta get let's post a shit ton of party hard emojis.
Party hard.
Party hard.
All right, here we go.
Or some.
How could if an aerospace, and I've heard this theory from very informed people, I don't think it's a theory, it sounds true, that if there are crash materials, and apparently there are, those reside in the custody of not the U.S. government, but of contractors that work for the U.S. government, aerospace, defense contractors.
Right.
McDonnell Douglas, Lockheed, et cetera. How could they profit off those materials?
Well, one, they can continue to ask for black budget money.
Oh.
For it.
Right. I should know this. I lived in Washington, right?
Dude.
It's just
fucking
like,
hit the nail on the head.
I don't know. You can keep giving them fucking money.
Fucking money, dude.
It's probably not something. Well, it is. Yeah.
And who parties harder than people with money? Who
Nobody.
parties harder than people with money? Oh my god! You know who the biggest partiers are in the UFO Garage, based on the chat? Nightmare, Oracles and Beyond, Chad Smith.
You guys party hard.
I mean, you guys are
You
partying
make us
hard.
so proud.
Yeah. So another one of those hallmark statements. You could say this about anything, but for some reason, I feel like it has some gravity because we're dealing with with the UFO topic. You deal with so many things like culture, psychology, politics. Everything under the sun touches this subject. And
yeah,
what drives our current culture, politics?
Blue jeans, rock and roll, Coca-Cola, Pepsi. It's the taste of a new generation.
Listen, we just need Pepsi. You know, what was that commercial with?
All I wanted was a Pepsi.
All you got to do, look, we could solve all of our problems if you just have a Pepsi. Just one. What if that was literally like the answer? Like
just drink a Pepsi.
It's like drinking the it's like taking the red pill. You drink a red. Have you had a Pepsi, Joe? Ever?
I don't think so. Now I think about it.
I've never had a Pepsi either. I've only had Dr. Pepper and Coca-Cola. But yeah, follow the money is what I guess what I think he's getting at, especially in this topic. Like, you gotta follow that money, dude.
And it's just it's crazy how like on the news right now they're saying what he said something about crash material. He was like the apparent we have like what do you say the apparent crash materials that exist. Hold on, let me see. What did he say? That was pretty important. What does he say?
Yeah, I feel like yeah.
Hold on, what was it? Sorry, 14.
Fascinating. So it sounds like in the world that you live.
No, that wasn't it. What did I do? 13. That's what it was. Sorry, guys. Right here.
This theory from very informed people, I don't think it's a theory, it sounds true, that if there are crash materials, and apparently there are, those.
Apparently there are.
Apparently.
And so like apparently
my grandpa falls asleep for the Super Bowl. He just like, I've never been on sleep like TV before.
that redhead kid.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Damn it, the chat won't let me post this many party heart emojis. What the heck? Okay, anyway.
There must be a party limit in the chat.
Yeah, that's bullshit. I didn't set that limit.
I didn't either, dude. StreamYard, YouTube.
Yeah, One of
I don't
them.
know.
They know. They know how much fun we're having.
Then not too much.
What is it? It's not dancing at the party. Ramses is not dancing
at the party. Literally probably one of the greatest movies ever made, right?
Oh my God, it's the best, dude. I
Nacho
watch
Libre
it
is easily one of the greatest movies ever made.
easily. I mean, it's one of those movies like Elf you watch every Christmas. I watch it like
Every Cinco de Mayo.
like that, or like once a month. Like I watch it too much, honestly.
I have seen
Take
it
it easy.
so many times. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right.
That, you know what my favorite part about is the end when he smiles. I'll look it up and I'll add it. We'll come back to this.
I love the song. I am.
I am.
All right, here we go.
A real
Fascinating.
religious
So
man.
it sounds like in the world that you live in, it is taken for granted, which is assumed to be true, that this stuff is real.
Yes. Yeah, it's 100% real.
There you go. There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Tucker Carlson wants to know, is this stuff real? And Gary Nolan says, it's 100% real.
Well, here's where I feel like we need to make a distinction. The reason why it seems legit is because of his credentials. Right? Like a lot of people, millions of people have been saying this exact thing.
Yeah. But
we're not just negating that.
Dude, I've been saying aliens are real since before Gary Nolan said it.
Hell yeah, dude. And we can claim that. We have legit proof, dude.
Oh, dude.
But it's pretty awesome to hear
I've been saying that shit since I was like 7.
a smart guy saying the same thing we were saying, dude.
Yeah, dude. People are going to believe Gary Nolan over a 7-year-old any day, you know? He's just had more life experience. And sometimes that's just sad.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not really much to say about that little clip. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, it is what it is, and that's really what I liked about this interview. It's just very like, yeah, it's all real, you know. No
Keeping
biggie.
in line with his pretty friggin' chill approach to it. I love it.
I know, like in one part, he's like, "Does that bother you at all?" And he's like, "Nah, why would it?
Yeah, it's like, nah.
Nothing I can do about it."
Like, yeah.
All right.
He's pretty steadfast and like, look, nothing really affects me, other than, I just want to figure shit out.
Listen,
I wish I could just focus like that. Like,
I know.
I can't do that. I've got to ask 14 billion questions.
What he's trying to really say is, look, we're all gonna be dead before we figure it out. Don't worry about it. It's like, it's not your problem.
Smile.
All right, let's see. Here we go.
We find going against the grain. This is real, and we need to pay attention to it. And it's just unscientific to not study it.
Yes, amen.
Right? I mean, it's just wrong. And if you're going to be that way, you're a priest. You're not a scientist.
Amen.
Boom. Right. Like, I mean, I feel like that's been the sentiment with like people, for a long time is like, look, don't just deny it because you think it's weird. Like, you're a scientist, dude. Go figure it out.
So to break that sentence down and that sentiment it's the definition between a conscious individual separating fact from belief. And when you're not willing to hear the facts and not willing to accept the facts, it's probably a belief,
Right.
You've treaded the waters. You walked across that water, man.
That's right.
You're now believing if you're not willing to even hear a different side of things. I mean, science is all about being proven wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not even being like open and willing to hear someone out that might be claiming to prove you wrong, something's smelling a little fishy, dude.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. No, you're not advancing anybody or anything.
Yeah.
Not even
might as
yourself.
well be an iguana.
Just hanging out on the beach.
Hang on the beach with your frosted tips.
wearing some puka shells.
Wearing those
And-
Quicksilver, it's thongs.
Dude.
You got a Journeys store card in your wallet, your chain wallet.
Don't tempt me with a good time. All right, here we go.
And finding, along with the CIA, the answers to these questions.
Technology. I mean, you've seen the reports on how these things move. 0 to 5,000 miles an hour, instantaneous acceleration and deceleration, transmedium travel.
Yeah. Meaning from air to water.
Air to water. Yeah. We can't do any of that. We just can't.
And moreover, we don't know how it's done.
We don't know how it's done. And so that means that there's a level of physics that can be appreciated and maybe taken advantage of. I mean, hundreds, thousands of years ago, we looked at birds and we saw they could fly and we said, we want to fly. So now we see this happening and now we realize that our physics doesn't answer how that moves. So we need new physics.
Dude, we need new physics. All right.
Download.
The old physics, that's it. So yesterday, right? We're trying to fly 9,000 miles an hour. We need new physics.
Dude, the word physics, the imagery that it puts in my head is kind of like I don't know. Physics. It's like a leather pouch of marbles. You know,
Exactly.
It seems old. It seems old. We need a new one.
Exactly.
We need new physics.
And that, we've questioned this before. It's like, dude, like, what is that next step, right? Like, everything from, dude, I mean, name it, right? Pythagoras, Newton's law, the friggin' Einstein, and now we're all the way down to friggin' quantum mechanics and string theory and all this, and it like makes you wonder, like, damn, what is? Because it's gonna happen, right? Like, what is the next step in physics, man? Like, that's got to be huge. Like, how long is that going to take? And is it not even going to take as long as we think it is?
I think it's happening right now. I think
it's happening right before our eyes, dude.
I think the new physics is happening right now, and the evidence is credible scientists, mathematicians are open to the fact that consciousness does have an effect on our reality, and there's something at play here.
And wouldn't it be interesting to find out that, like, okay, we start this new physics and we're trying to figure out, okay, how do we go 9,000 miles an hour, right? But like, maybe as like you have a lot of mass or something, maybe the physics is that you can't go that fast. There's something that has to happen in between there that maybe they're not moving that fast. You're just perceiving it to be that fast, Like, maybe there's something in that physics that happens where they're really not going as fast as we think they are.
Okay, so you're combining relativity and space-time travel, which is
Smart.
Get smart.
Smart.
Like, I guess space-time travel can include both physics and string theory and a couple other, like, quantum mechanics too. So it's like, how do you combine all of them? And instead of thinking of it in a linear circle or linear line, think of everything that we know and try to make it a toroidal or a circle. Like, how do they all connect to each other? And I think we're on the verge of that. And once we complete that circle, that's your new physics, dude.
Like you work all that time. You're like, how are we going to get to 9,000 miles an hour? How are we going to get to 9,000 miles an hour? And then you figure something out and you're like, wait, we don't have to go 9,000 miles an hour. We can do this.
All we do is just imagine that we just think really hard and
Because
believe
the
it.
physics allows us to do this now that we understand this concept. Like, we don't even have to go that fast. We can do something. We can do it some other way. Like, that would be really interesting.
Dude, it goes. We've had. I mean, obviously, I agree with you. When I'm silent, I'm like, yes, and what I'm thinking about now is we've had so many conversations, dude. This is like our 134th episode. Well, there's a bunch of episodes we haven't posted, but we've had the conversation in the past where it's like, we're super interested in the physics and the mathematics and like how it actually works. Yes, but we have the sneaking suspicion that it's so easy that when we figure it out, we're gonna be like, oh.
Oh, you mean
Okay.
I've been hanging out here the whole time?
You mean I've been wasting all these farts for nothing, dude? You mean I needed
nothing?
to be collecting my farts this entire time? That's how we travel the universe?
Why didn't anybody say that? Actually,
if you are God, then you are farting as God. So the universe runs on God farts. Okay.
what if the next interview that Gary Nolan does on Tucker Carlson, he talks about the God fart aspect of the phenomena, and we're going to be like, no way.
The God fart. Listen,
The God fart part.
listen. It's a God fart. It's a new type of physics I spoke about, and I came up with it all on my own. What if we didn't get? We probably. It's so absurd, but in another world, it'd be dope.
We should invite Gary Nolan to a Balskin Company and Co.
Company
research
and Co.
facility.
Check out TTFA, dude. To thefartsacademy.com, bro.
Dude, when you walk in the door, you don't know it hits you.
You when you walk in the door, you'll know.
I've arrived. All right.
Someone's been here.
I can't even remember the things that I tagged on here. Let's see what else he has to say.
There's no hiding in space. When
There's
there's
no-
farts. You can smell farts in space.
Okay, let me pose a situation and tell me if you would laugh. Right, you and somebody else, y'all accidentally got y'all's tethers snapped, so y'all are like just floating there. Right, something happened with the ship. The ship is floating away. Like there's nothing anybody can do. You're out of your little air jetpack thingies on the side, right? And all of a sudden, you guys are just sitting there, and you know that this is it. Like you got like 3 minutes of oxygen left.
Yeah.
You're about to die, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you just hear. You see your fucking buddy astronaut start slowly floating away. And you're like, you knew he farted. Like, just slowly. Would you laugh? Or would you
Also,
still be
like-
scared?
Also, so his farts projecting him.
Yeah, it's like pushing him.
No, but like you guys are looking at each other. You guys have been best friends because you've been space rangers for so long.
Yeah.
And you're like having this really good moment. And you're like, man,
It's good knowing you.
you're my best friend. You taught me how to shave.
Or like y'all are facing each other.
Your nipples are smaller than mine, and I got some really small nipples. And then he slowly he farts. And he like gives you one last like, and then pretends.
You're like, no. It'd be like the saddest,
You have to laugh though.
scariest, funniest moment of your life.
That's exactly how. If that happened to us, I feel bad, but I would laugh at you as you float away.
Oh, dude, that'd be the only way for us to go out.
Dude,
honestly.
if I ever died in front of you, I would fart first.
You gotta fart first.
I'll give you that, just so it's like a more enjoyable experience.
Oh,
Just so you
dude.
can't say it was super sad. You could always be like, it was exactly what it needed to be.
Oh, dude. All right, let's see. Gary, what do you got to say, Gary?
Let's move back just one sentence.
Yeah.
So without putting your professional credibility, reputation on the line, et cetera, you're around people who study this stuff for a living, who are
Right.
the most knowledgeable people on this topic in the
Yes.
world.
Yes.
What is their general sense of what this might be?
That this is not from Earth.
Right. That it's not from Earth, that this
Right.
is these are aliens, essentially.
And,
Mic drop. Mic drop.
Mic drop. Yeah, that's it, right? That's it. So, like do you just can we just show people this video? Like when they're like, "Do you believe aliens exist?" We're like, have you watched Tucker Carlson? The answer is more likely no, right?
Well, here's the thing where it becomes a conflict. I love it. But again, before we started the show, we had this conversation about like if anybody baby spoon feeds you the shit that you thought was you've been thinking all along, and they just give it to you. Maybe it's a personality trait, but we should approach it with some discernment, right?
Yeah.
And maybe that's just me being an asshole. It's like, oh, I finally get what I want, and now I'm like questioning it.
Yeah, hey, this whole thing has been this whole topic has been full of like mouthpieces for certain people that want agendas out, right? So that's a good point. Even though this video is exciting and really cool, you still have to question, right?
Yeah.
And that's, we've said that to like,
like it's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But like, let's slow down here.
Like,
Put the stocking back up above the fireplace.
We said that to we've said that to Lou. We've said that to Jeremy. I would say the same thing here. It's like, look, you seem like a really nice guy. And hey, sounds good. I'm still going to be a little skeptical.
Yeah.
Just allow me that. Like, I got to be a little skeptical. Like we were talking about before the show. It's like the burden of proof isn't on us anymore. The burden of proof is on them. But then it's also like, okay, now when they start coming out with this proof, is this just a big circle jerk again? Like we were talking about earlier, like it worked really good back in the like the 70s and stuff. Are they just repeating it? They're like, hey, that worked really good. Like let's try this like government psyop where like aliens are real again. Yeah. Like I don't know. It's so confusing.
I mean, we could going down that path. I mean, that's not a path that we've both chosen to not. We're not saying we don't believe him. All we're saying is approach everything with discernment.
Yeah.
Be smart about it.
Yeah.
Because we're so smart.
So smart, dude.
So fucking smart, dude.
That's pretty much what we're known for, is being smart.
Everybody knows have t-shirts. We have t-shirts, Dr. Scientist, for both.
Dude,
we couldn't choose one.
We couldn't choose, because we felt like both that day.
UFO Garage Podcast.com/store. You too could be a Dr. Scientist. You just buy the shirt.
It's pretty easy. We don't make it very hard. You don't have to pass any.
You don't have to. You don't have to go to a university to be smart. Just buy the shirt. People believe you. Lynn says, "Spank that spank that love button." Ooh, girl.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Spank it.
Yeah, but anyway, just in closing, approach things maybe sometimes with discernment is not a bad idea. And if that person attacks you for approaching them with, some questions, and they're like, "Oh, but I told you the truth, and you're an asshole for not believing me." Oh, kind of seems like you're having something to hide, bro. Like, how much are you invested? Where's
So
that?
you gonna be all right over there?
You gonna be okay? Make you cry? Make a boo-boo? You gonna take a nap? You gotta take a nap?
Nothing really, but
Why could
by definition, it's the most important. So is the general belief that these objects, whatever this is coming from outside our atmosphere, or that it's coming from beneath the oceans?
both, I think. I mean, whatever it is, it's clearly been here for a long time. And it doesn't necessarily care so much about us, but in terms of, if it wanted to wipe us out, it could.
Clearly, obviously.
All you got to do is go out to the asteroid belt and push a big rock our way, and that's the end of us. We're the next dinosaur problem. So the next question is, well, if they've been here all along, before we were even civilized, well, whose planet is this really?
That's the big one. That's the big one for me. Like,
whose planet is this really?
Yeah.
That's been the big thing, right? If encounters and experiencers go back beyond before recorded history, and we're talking about like the Dogon tribe, right? Like that's one of the first recorded histories of
history. First recorded history.
And one of the main things they wrote down was like, yeah, there's fucking aliens. Why are we not taking their advice.
Yeah, they were like, hey, we're going to tell everybody so that way future generations for the rest of time that exists for us here on Earth, we're going to write this down so people will know that aliens exist. And here we are in 2020 wondering if aliens exist. Wait, no, it's 2022. Shit. Here we are in 2022.
Oh my God. Joe just gained 2 years. Here we are in 2020. So, I have a question for you, dude. Because all right, let me preface this. I just watched the Disney movie Lightyear. Have you heard of it?
Have I heard of it? Yeah. Oh, I've heard.
So
was it good? Did you like it?
Oh my God, it's fantastic. It's such a meta idea. It's a movie about a movie within a movie. It's so meta. Just like our podcast. It's a podcast, and then we started this documentary, and then now we're doing podcasts about the documentary about our podcast. It's so meta.
I wanted to watch it, but I felt like I was just gonna be let down. I don't know.
So okay, well,
maybe
you
I should give
it
a chance. Okay.
I'll just say this, and we can move on. Time dilation. You can go in the past, apparently, in this movie. And if we were able to go so what they do, if you go far enough in the future, you could find technology advanced enough to go in the past. So we know theoretically that you can go into the future, right?
Mm-hmm.
Theoretically, yes, cool. We get there, and they're like, yeah, no, we go in the past all the time. Fucking eggs don't exist. Like, we need to go get eggs. Like, I love omelets. Go into the past. That you create a new timeline. So multiverse, boom. Can humans and future humans exist on the same planet from a different timeline? Absolutely, dude. On the same timeline, though. They're from different places.
Right.
They're different timelines,
I'm going to check it out. You've sold it. You sold it to me.
There we go.
All right. Let's get to this next one. Damn, there's so many. I can't believe it.
I gotta pee real quick. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All
Beer.
right. Well, I hope you guys are having a good time. We're just out here hanging out. If you want to go check out more episodes, you can find us on YouTube or any of your, wherever you like to stream podcasts. Go check us out, UFOGaragePodcast.com. We got all kinds of cool T-shirts and stuff. T-shirts and more T-shirts, and I think there's some other cool stuff on there too. I don't know. Ben changes it all the time. He's always working on that stuff. Pretty good stuff. Man, it's good to be back. It's been a while. We have been just slammed with so much stuff. Life has been crazy. It's so good to see all you guys here. Hey, Joe for President 2023. All right. Joe had a brain fart. Always. When did this happen? See, brain farts happen to me all the time, though. When they happen, I forget they happen immediately, and I don't know what anybody's talking about. Let's see. Well. It is Bigfoot's planet. We don't know. I need to see the documents. Thanks, Oracles, for sharing the link. That's great. I should have done that. I don't even have it pulled up. I got a lot of stuff pulled up. I get confused. I'm not as good at computer stuff as Ben. That dude's like a wizard. Let's see. I'm going all slow. Well, you already posted. I don't need to post it. This is good times, man. This interview was pretty crazy. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts? How did y'all feel about the interview? I mean, we're not done with it yet, but if you've already seen it, I mean, how did y'all feel about it? I think it was like, I don't know, like I said earlier, it's the most digestible one. It seemed like it was like very just straightforward and kind of to the point. I don't know. I liked it. For some reason, this one just hit different for me. What's up, Ben? Ben's back. Hello, Ben.
Oh, snap. We got Dan Warren in the house, bro. What?
He says it's Bigfoot's world.
I mean, absolutely.
And James
Yeah.
Brown says, "This is a man's world."
And the man.
Bum, 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 bum. Oh, man made the train. All right, here we go. Moving on. We got a lot. I don't know if we're gonna make it, dude. We might have to do a 2-parter on this one. It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Does this bother you at all?
No, I think it's exciting. I mean, why would it bother me? I mean, because I don't think that they're here necessarily to harm us. And if they want to, they can. So nothing I have any control over. So
Is there any evidence of the 100 cases that you've looked at that any of those human beings were harmed on purpose?
no, I think it's just as bad. If you happen to walk across an airfield and get in the way of the exhaust plume of a jet engine, you're going to get harmed.
I like the way he said plume.
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 Plume. Yeah, dude. I mean, isn't it weird how kind of, dude, how childhood's end this is kind of?
Oh, shit.
Like they're just here, not doing nothing. Everybody's kind of like, what's happening? And they're like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Only a couple people know what's happening. They're relaying this information to us, and the rest of us are just kind of here, like in the beginning stages of this childhood's end story, and
Right.
Nothing's happening. They're just kind of there, you know.
So, I guess Childhood's in a TV show on Amazon Prime. If you guys haven't seen it, free and check that out. District 9, they both have similar things where there's a spaceship that just lands or is hovering above major cities. I mean, there's a few other movies that have this same archetype. But what I think it's representing is this zeitgeist that is existing. We don't physically see it, but we know that it's there. I guess what I'm saying. Like, we don't need to see it. It's almost, there's this like blur between reality and belief where we know that there's some shit happening that's right in front of our faces. We've seen it. We know people that we trust have seen it.
Yeah.
It's not sitting above our major cities, but to us, in our minds, in our consciousness, it is sitting in a huge spacecraft above our cities at all times. So maybe it's an analogy to the awakening, to this awareness that there is this shadow of unknowing.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, dude, like, again, this is, you know, he's not saying anything that like we haven't already heard, you know? He's just doing it better.
Yeah, he's doing a great job.
He's really
Don't-
doing a good
Tucker
job.
never we would do very bad on Tucker Carlson, by the way. Like, why is there wood everywhere?
Tucker, did you make this set?
Wood.
Wood.
This wood is hard.
Hard. Did you use hardwood or softwood?
Are those yearbooks? What is it your yearbook?
Did they buy those for you? Are these props, or do you really read these? He's like, no, don't read those.
I like how the bookmarks on like the first 20 pages too. It's like, I'll read it later.
I read the first 20 pages, that way I can say I've started this book. You know,
You know, be interested in is like with every guest they put different books behind them. It's like subliminally. There's like some archaic type of iconography on the spine of this book.
Yeah.
Red and black, usually associated with some I don't know. It seems like a badass color combination. I wonder if they trade it out. Like if they had a president, would they put like a blue book, a blue and white book, you know,
Or a fucking coloring book.
okay. That's what they should do.
They need to put a fucking coloring
Really,
book
what
down
are
for
the-
that guy.
One of those little like playscapes that you have like the little wooden dowels. And like
Here,
dentists-
Joe, sit down. Stop talking. Just color in this book for a little bit. Fucking get him out of here. Get him out of here. He's shaking hands with nobody. He's falling down. He's just babbling right now. I can't even give him grapes. He keeps choking on his grapes. Get him out of here.
There's a fish tank. There's a fish tank.
This guy's like a toddler. It's so funny. They put a fucking coloring book behind it.
What are these guppies? Let's go. These fish are cold. You should go and go fish.
Joe, that's a water cooler. Okay. All right, moving on. Here we go.
When you start to hear many of these cases, and Jacques Vallée talks about this a lot, that whatever these things are, seem to have the ability to project altered reality into people's minds. I know that sounds crazy. And I'm just repeating the stories.
Well, no
and the
crazier
ways to
than
think.
any other thing that we've been talking about.
Right.
I mean, it's all outside the bounds of what we understand as science anyway, right?
Yeah, I mean, and I have the picture.
Dude. So he's talking about a picture a couple of years ago, I think in France. This family was driving down the road. The kids, basically, they had seen this. What did he say? It was they saw a craft, and they were all looking at it. And the kids took a picture. And whenever they went back to look at the pictures later, it was like a giant star.
Huh.
And he was like, there's multiple cases. He's basically talking about how like there's multiple cases where like people are seeing things that appear to be different than what they're actually seeing. So
Okay.
These objects are somehow manipulating what you're able to see. And you see it, you see his reaction. Obviously, he's like, look, they're putting images in your mind. I know that sounds crazy, but
did he say it yet? Because the way he says it's like on point. Because like we've tried to explain this, like the voice to skull technology. We've tried to explain, word of mouth from people that we know in the know that have talked about this technology that we have.
Yeah,
we as in like current people, not aliens.
I know. Yeah, he says it right here. Let's check it out.
That they took of that star-shaped object and the story. And Jacques had been the person who went and did the interviews for it. And that was sort of a mind bender for me. The first time that I had seen evidence of something, the image of something, but it was only seen by them. So when you start to hear many of these cases, and Jacques Vallée talks about this a lot, that whatever these things are, seem to have the ability to project altered reality into people's minds. I know that sounds crazy.
They're able to project altered reality into people's minds.
It doesn't sound crazy, Gary. It doesn't sound crazy to me and a lot of other people.
Yeah.
It's not crazy.
And I love the reaction that Tucker had. He's like, hey, please say the crazy shit, right? Because at this point, it's no crazier than what we've already been talking about, right?
Right.
I love that reaction. I'm glad that reaction came out as opposed to like, wait, what?
I mean, a lot, dude. Everything about this interview is just fucking chef's kiss.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
it's so great.
It really is on point, man.
It's
and dude, like the times that I wrote down, like, dude, they're literally like 30 seconds apart from each other because like every other line is like so significant that you're like, wait a second, I can't believe you're saying all this like at one time.
Yeah, there's not a lot of lulls really. Like I looked up, and I mean the interview's an hour long. I sent it to Luke, and he was like, "Bruv, it's an hour, bro." Like I was like, no, you're gonna want to watch this one.
You want to watch this? Yeah, I sent it to quite a few people too.
And I looked up after an hour, and I mean, you and I were texting back and forth. They're like half of it. It went by like that, dude. Like it's just fucking phenomenal. It's a great interview.
It is. Let's see where he goes right here.
No,
just want to say, Gordium, thank you for putting on your UFO Garage shirt, dude.
Nice.
Oh yeah, dude. Feel it. Feel the power.
I like it.
Unifying motivation.
Is there evidence that there's a lot of this kind of activity undersea?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, plenty, right? The sonar images show these things moving at speeds a dozen times faster than our fastest submarines, with no cavitation, right? No, no basically bubbles behind them, because the movement would create a vacuum and would, basically make a giant bubble, and we'd get this noise. No noise, just sonar images.
So, given your background in science, is that explicable?
No,
No, it's not.
no.
Okay.
You have to imagine the new kinds of physics.
Again, with the new kinds of physics, you need new kinds of physics.
Can I explain what the word cavitation means?
If you
So-
like,
Well,
proceed.
yes, I think it was cavitation is
Everybody in the council, silence. Benjamin has the floor.
yes. Thank you. I forgot what I was going to say.
We're going to
Cavity.
talk about crevasses.
Ah, yes. Many gentlemen, well, there's many crevasses. All right. Cavitation is a phenomenon in which the static pressure of liquid reduces to below the liquid's vapor pressure, leading to the formation of small vapor-filled cavities in the liquid.
Well, if I didn't know you were just going to Google it, I would have said no.
No, I Wikipedia'd it.
Oh, my bad. You win. Proceed.
Should I say it in a British accent? It'll sound smarter.
The gentleman has the floor again.
Yes.
But
This, let me say this one thing. Static pressure of... Okay, that sounds worse, actually. All right, fucking back to it. I started a TikTok trying to do the David Attenborough impression.
Uh-huh.
And it's fucking popping off, dude. I got like 2 million subscribers.
Are you serious?
No.
No. You
Like
should.
12 subscribers, but that's huge for me, okay? 12.
You should keep it going, dude.
And it sounds like this. In which the static pressure of liquid reduces to below the liquid's vapor pressure.
There it is.
It's fucking great, right?
Challenge accepted.
It was
Spot
just
on.
one. It was a little taste. It was a little, you know.
You're like, I got more. I got more in the tank for you guys.
Okay.
Does it make sense to you?
Yeah. I mean, one of them is called, there's actually a Mexican physicist. He has worked out the equations for a warp drive. I mean, we can't do it. The amounts of energy required are extraordinary. It's called the Alcubierre drive. But then there's a number of other individuals who have then taken his equations and shown that, that it actually explains how these things might be moving.
Yeah, we kind
Remember
of knew that. We knew that one though.
Yeah. But who did we hear that from? From our buddy Eric.
Did he talk about the Alcubierre drive before it was?
He
It was like in the public.
yeah.
Because it's named after a person. His last name is Alcubierre, right?
I would assume so.
That's cool.
It's very cool. The idea that they're saying like, oh yeah, is that new physics that we need? Well, some guys have already been working on it, and not only have they been working on it, but they have the numbers to make this machine. It's possible. We can't like do it, but like theoretically, like we know how.
But how fun is that? It's like conversations you and I have on this podcast. We talk about it like it sounds great. The math, there's some proof that backs it up. We can't like do it, but like a lot of people are talking about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so like what are we achieving here? I don't know. I just think the Alcubierre drive is dope. But doesn't he mean that in order to create that warp and gravity, you would need the energy of a sun?
Yeah. Yeah. Which has got to be frustrating, right? Because you're like, okay, so I know how to do it. I just physically can't do it.
Yeah.
You just can't. It requires too much energy. So you got to find a new energy source.
Maybe you need
Element 115.
Or, dude, maybe you need to get spiritual with it and create your own sun, and we all become gods, and then
You mean like in your heart?
in your heart, and then you create your own sun
In your mind.
in your mind, because it's
And then in your head.
and then your head is just the outside of it. So we're all cubular drives.
We're all tubular drives, dude.
Tubular drives, dude. Think about it.
Tubular.
Just saying.
Hey, I mean, you're onto something. Tubular. Sorry, dude. Like, so I know it probably looks like I'm not paying attention. I'm scrolling, trying to find. This is hard. I don't know how you do it. You're such a professional.
See, like it is hard, right?
I'm very clunky with this. So yeah,
I'm not
pardon me.
You're doing a great job, Joe. You're
Thanks,
actually crushing it. You're way better than I've ever done. Your first try, too.
First try. You know,
You're doing great.
You know, you learn the system and you copy and repeat. You know,
Yeah, like aliens.
All right, here we go.
I do want to know why Jess went out the front door just a second ago. I want to know. I hope everything's okay.
I mean, if it wasn't, she'd be like, Ben, shit is not okay right now.
Well, I don't think I could have heard her unless she tapped me on the shoulder. That's French for shoulder.
Oh, dude, you're so good at French.
I know. It's crazy. Okay, sorry.
The data. You're not going to hide this anymore. We're going to give anybody in the entire DoD and intelligence community a secure channel by which you can actually report this. You can basically set aside the NDAs or oaths that you've given, because you're basically reporting it to us, and it'll be given to the Senate and the congressional leadership.
Yeah.
Right? And this is the first time ever that this has been done.
It's about time.
So, I mean, if anybody wants to question whether this is something to pay attention to, you have to realize that these are the senators and Congress people who behind closed doors have seen the classified briefings, right? They're the people who've seen this in a way. They've seen stuff I haven't seen. And some of them come out and their eyes are wide
Yes.
about this.
Harry Reid of Nevada was.
Yeah.
I wonder if like how when they go, I would love to be a fly on the wall in one of those debriefings or whatever that they go through, right? I would love to forget being a fly. I wish I could just be that dude in the room getting the debrief. You know what I'm saying?
No. I want to be a fly person.
You want to be a fly?
I want a suit and everything.
I want to have pockets. I want to be able to put stuff in the pockets as a fly in a cool suit. You know? Damn it! I got really into the fly thing for a second. What did we say that was really important to like history and the world and our lives? What did you just say?
I don't know, honestly, dude. I wasn't paying attention.
Okay, hold on. Let me just reverse it just a little bit. I forgot what he said. I really like the idea of a fly suit because I pictured him in a cool hat.
I mean, dude, if you were a fly man, you're like a man body with a fly face and arms.
Yes.
Yeah, you can see everything. You can see your enemies.
Oh yeah, Gordium says Jeff Goldblum on the wall. Have you ever seen that? The Fly, that movie with Jeff Goldblum, where he's inventing time travel and it deconstructs.
What does this mean?
Well, because there's two modules that he builds, and so in one of them, Jeff Goldblum gets in it and it deconstructs his body and reconstructs it in another little thing, whatever, time travel capsule. And then one night he gets drunk and he hops in there, but what he doesn't know is that there's a fly that also lands in there with him. So whenever he gets transported to the other side, he gets mixed with fly genetics.
Oh, it's called the Fly.
Yeah, it's called the Fly, and he starts turning into a fly. It's really crazy. He starts climbing on the walls and stuff. It's pretty wild.
Okay,
cool ass
this
movie.
image is pretty iconic, and I didn't know where it was from, and now I do.
Which image?
I'm about to show you. I'm about to be
Gordio, it is an excellent VHS. It was
It's an excellent VHS.
it was one of the most epic VHSs.
It was
Yeah,
like
that's
Michael
what it's
Jackson,
from.
dude.
That's what it's from, dude.
Is this like a fly egg that he has hatched out of?
No. He built that machine.
I mean, I'd be posing like that too if I built a badass machine like that.
Oh yeah. He's trying to like impress some chick.
I mean,
It's pretty cool.
Jeff, freaking crushing it, dude. He's still crushing it. Okay, I don't know what we're talking about right now, but
He was talking about how basically like they created that special group to where like you can skip all that nonsense and just go report it, so that way they have it on file. Like no more being secret, no more like the NDA shit. Like they're like basically look, I want to know. All right, so you come and you tell us. You could skip all that. We're not messing with that. This new department is for you to come and tell us about what's happening.
specific to military.
Maybe.
I think so. I think that's what.
Yeah, I'm sure they wouldn't just want random schmoes calling up there and being like, "Hey, I saw something." But yeah, probably like military people, right? Because they're the ones under like NDAs and stuff. So
yeah.
that makes sense. But then, like, what's the negative to that? Like, are they? Now, okay, so. Do you think we'll ever run into a problem to where like there's just too many people who don't know what's going on, that are like trying to like be chiefs in the whole thing, and they're just like, well, I know all this information, and like maybe you know what I'm saying?
I think the ufology community has been faced with that problem for the past 80 years.
Yeah,
Ever
probably.
since the first book was published and made a bunch of money, then it became a problem for a lot of people that were actually like experiencers. And
yeah, for sure.
It birthed a lot of, I don't know, fame seekers and fortune, I don't know, scam artists and shit. It could be the same thing within the military.
Just on the government level.
Yeah. Like think if you were in the military and you got I guess fired. There's another word for that. And you don't receive any benefits. Okay, what do you do for a job now? All you know is that specific thing and it's like doesn't apply. So like fuck, what do? You got a family to feed? I get it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm going down a rabbit hole here, but like it just spawns another. It's to everything. There's got to be a balance. It's like
it's just a weird situation to be in when you have like Congress being like, "Hey, tell me the truth," and then they're like, "Okay, here's the truth," and then we're like, "Thank you," and then Congress and then everybody starts saying everything that they told them, but what if it's wrong? What if it's just misdirection? Like that's the thing that gets me is like all we're doing is asking for the truth.
Okay,
but the people who have the truth, I don't know, because now we get into like a different section where like, okay, well, who has the truth, right? Well, why are the military people looking so hard for the truth when there's other people who are just experiencing the truth? Like who has the truth?
Dude. So the way you're talking about this, just like opened up my lizard brain. Where like sometimes, most of the times, I like to like simplify ideas, and I think of two categories. Right now, you made me think of two categories. There's one category that says truth equals profit, and false equals loss. So who's ever quote unquote true, they gained a profit, and whoever's false will lose. So looking at profit and loss, that's just a fact. Like people lose and they win. That's just a matter of life. They die, they survive for a short amount of time. Ultimately, though, everybody dies. But ultimately, the truth is forever. You can't dispute the truth. and often it's just defined by the witnesses, by one or more people.
Yeah.
And our history is defined by the winners.
Mm-hmm.
So you can distort the truth, the winning side always gets to tell the truth, right?
Yeah,
Like,
the winners write the history, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily mean it's true. It's
his story.
It's their side of the story.
Sorry,
Yeah.
his or her story.
It's their story and they write it, right?
Yeah.
Now, the side that lost maybe didn't see it that way. You know, they have a completely different history or a different account of what happened.
Yeah. Ooh.
So, yeah.
Ooh, you're making me think, bro.
I don't know, man. It's such
it.
a sticky situation.
It is sticky.
Like, you almost just have to be abducted by aliens, you know, to just know, you know?
Honestly,
Like, that's it. You kind of just have to be whatever. You just have to be visited. That's it.
I mean, like it's not funny at all. But like the clarity of that would be kind of nice because you and I, we're just like fucking, I don't know. We'll listen to you. We'll have some discernment, but we don't fucking know, dude. We're not experiencers ourselves. We haven't
never put ourselves in that position, you know? Like it's a strange, and you know, that seems like to be the only two options. Like if you really want to know, right? You either just got to die or you got to be visited by one, which are both kind of scary. But also, if you look at it the way you're supposed to, they're both very beautiful, maybe. Like, I don't know. Depends on how you look at it, right?
What's really fascinating to me is are people that are interested in this subject that do not have their own experiences or prior interest in this field prior to 2017 when the Nimitz was explained or published by the New York Times. You know, there seemed to be this awakening of a lot of people that were like, oh yeah, actually I did see some shit when I was a kid, and they just buried it. I find that so fascinating, man.
Yeah, man. It's like it sparks something for you. Let me see, where are we at here? Let me see where we're at.
You ever seen that movie Brave Little Toaster?
Oh, I love that movie.
Remember the little electric blanket? When you said spark, I just thought of him.
Okay, 2825.
Is it LIL Toaster? Brave Little Toaster? Oh, it's Little
Toaster.
Little. Great movie, by the way. It's fucking well, it's sad and it's just full of emotions.
Yeah. Big reason why I was into old school rock and roll.
Brave Little Toaster?
Yeah.
No
I used to love that movie because they jammed that Little Richard song in there.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
They sing Tutti Frutti in there.
Don't
they? Isn't it Tutti Frutti? Hey, Spaced Out Radio. Thanks a lot, dude. Appreciate that.
Is that Dave? Davey boy.
Dave.
Thanks, brother.
Dave is in the house. Boom.
Thank you for that little
Dave is
bit
in the
of
house.
love.
I like it.
Hell yeah. That's what's up, dude. Getting it started tonight, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's the first super chat in 4 months?
I think so. Yeah.
It's been a while. We haven't been asking for
we've also haven't done a whole lot of shows in the past couple months just
That
because
is
it's been
true.
crazy. So
that is true.
It makes sense, you know. You don't do shows, you don't get any money.
That's true.
The way it works.
Well,
All right, let's
like you can't just like get money for nothing. You have to talk about Brave Little Toaster.
That's right. That's how you get it.
Yeah.
Here we go. All right.
Amazing. So tell us about the injury. So again, you've seen 100 cases. What kinds of injuries do people sustain?
I think the most dramatic are because we have MRIs, the things that you see within the body. And so what we had done was, in looking at some of these MRIs, we had noticed damage in the brain, white matter disease, it's called. If you know anybody, for instance, who's had multiple sclerosis, and you look at an image of their brain, you'll see these white matter objects. Oh yeah, you can see it there. Those white tracts there are just damage to the brain, right? Those are dead areas of the brain. And so if you have that dead area of the brain, whatever that function might have been is now gone, right? So memory, movement, et cetera, can all be affected. Now, the brain can luckily rewire some things. And so depending upon the extent of the damage, you can maybe get over it. But, the ones that you just saw on that image before on the right, those are serious. And that was what essentially convinced me. But what I asked for of these people, I said, look, I'm not just going to believe you because you showed me images of these people. I want to meet the people. And so I was taken to meet the people and interview them. And I took their blood for later analysis. So, it was seeing is believing, and validation and verification. I did as much as I reasonably can. Now, they could be lying to me. I don't know, but I doubt it, because I saw some of the sort of the consequences of their injuries that you could sort of see how they were acting, et cetera.
Dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Oh, look. Oh, I'm going to rub my beard. I'm going to rub it. I did it, dude. Yeah.
Dude.
The injuries, man. I think it's cool that he's like, I got to see the stuff, but I had to meet them, right? I just had to meet them. Yeah. Because you really do, right? Like, I mean, you can see all the stuff through like images that you want, but like you kind of get like a different vibe. Like whenever you meet somebody, like I don't know.
So
people would disagree and say like, oh, there's really good bullshitters out there, but I feel like sometimes you can kind of get that genuine connection with somebody.
Yeah. Well, that statement coming from a scientist saying, I just had to meet them, says a lot about his personality.
Yeah.
Where he's not just a scientist, strictly dealing with what can be proven.
Yeah.
When you meet a person, there's a lot. There's what that person projects. It's what that person wants you to perceive, and then there's this your perception of it. It's your perception of what that person is perceiving to you. It's just all kinds of shit. It gets crazy. So like the fact that he even took that as a data point tells me that he, to me, seems like he's on the right track. I think that's a great way to approach things. If you're looking at specific data that doesn't have to do with consciousness, maybe not as important, but this particular subject does.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I think he's doing a great job. Like, I think you have to take in the person's experience with what happened.
Kind of humanize it a little bit.
You can't just look at scans of a brain. We see what happens when you look at just the scans of a brain, and you say this person, we can't tell you what happened to him. Just tell us what their brain looks like.
Yeah.
And the photo, like the X-ray or the MRI, is whatever. Okay, so the untrained eye, the person that doesn't know, they're going to say, oh, well, I guess it looks like trauma. But given more context, you talk to the person and talk about their experience. And you find out
there's a little more to this.
This white matter is not just trauma. It's trauma that appeared very quickly after an experience with an entity. Well, I hesitate to say not of this world, but not of our normal reality, I guess.
Right.
So I just love that he took the time to like get to know these people. I think it's awesome.
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
So what the injuries you saw are not inconsistent with like exposure to nuclear material.
Correct. Yeah. And so what that tells us is, I mean, at the very least, what I would say is that, let's say in the next round of UAP directives from Congress or from the Army or the Air Force is stay away.
Stay away. If you see a glowing craft on the ground,
right?
I
mean, it seems obvious, but I mean, some of the people who I know were so intrigued by what they were seeing, they felt that they had to walk up and touch it because this couldn't possibly be real. I mean, I would probably be in that category.
Oh, me too. Oh, totally.
Yeah, dude. That's genuine. Like, if it just was on the ground,
touch the shit out of that
you would
craft,
wanna
dude.
go touch it. You'd be like,
100%.
I gotta go see. I have to go see what that is.
Yeah.
Get too close.
Look, it's not my fault. My pants are off.
Yeah,
I'm approaching this. Look,
They were
officer,
off before they got here.
Officer, I took my pants off. Didn't even know it. I approached the vehicle. Pants off. Also, shirt was off.
Yeah.
Look, I can't control my bodily urges. That's what I do.
Yeah. Dude, Dave, I agree. Dave says this is one of the most impactful interviews we've seen on this subject in a long time. Yeah, dude, I agree. I sound like a broken record, but man, this was so easy to digest. He did a really good job. I thought it was pretty awesome. Very, very awesome.
Heck yeah.
But absolutely, I want to touch the butt,
Dude, I won't touch. Dude, you told me not to touch that butt.
I'm going to touch the butt.
I'm going to touch the butt every time.
Nemo.
And I'm going to slap it.
Touch the butt.
I'm going to go. Like that.
Let me see where we at. 35. Sorry. I'm kind of rushing through this a little bit, but I'm trying to get through it. It's just so good. Hold on. I need to go grab my charger. I'm going to let this
Dude,
go.
I got to pee again, too.
Again?
Yeah.
God. Okay, we'll go. I'm going to let this play real quick.
Okay.
Did any of the people you interviewed? I just can't believe you've had this experience. I cannot. I was just to backtrack. I can't believe you're in your office at Stanford. The CIA shows up.
It is out of a movie.
And just turns your life in this amazing direction. But wish that would happen to me. Did any of the people you interviewed see anybody in control of these craft? See any?
Not in these cases, but in the injury cases, I do know of cases non-injury associated where things were seen.
What kind of things?
Little beings. I don't know what to say.
I know it sounds crazy. I don't know what to say. Like what the eyewitness accounts say.
Yeah, the eyewitness.
You're not ratifying this.
I'm not ratifying it. No, the eyewitnesses always talk about something about that tall, right? With they call them the Greys. I don't know what to say.
But with humanoid features.
Humanoid features.
So, dude, I mean, for me, this is kind of huge. Like for me, this is kind of huge because we've you hear all the news and stuff, and they talk about just the documents and the videos of the craft, and we never really get too much. After that, it's always like, well, we know something exists in the skies, and like we're just all supposed to be good with that. Like, this is cool that you finally get like a news interview where he's saying, look, I'm not ratifying it or anything, but one of the things that people do say is that there are these beings, there's like, the Greys, and he says it like on the news. It's people call them the Greys. Like, I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like, I don't know. Like, it's crazy. It's just crazy. Right, Ben. I was just explaining. Ben just got back.
When he was talking about the Greys, dude.
Yeah, how basically, he's like, so they say they see anything? He's like, dude. I mean, some people.
I like how coy his position.
Yeah, it's just cool that like on the news, like I keep calling this a news segment. It's not a news segment. It's just a journalistic piece, I guess. It's not even like an opinion piece. He's interviewing him, so. And I guess it is kind of
there's a glass table, there's a lower third, there's a American Star. I mean, yeah, this is news.
Yeah, but it's cool that they're actually saying like, oh yeah, they call them the Greys. That's what people are calling them. Like, okay, cool. they're finally saying this on TV. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And he goes on to talk about like maybe they're robots. Well, not as crass as that, but like biological, technological fusion entities.
Dude, I don't know. Hey, are you good? Can I go grab my phone charger really quick? I don't want this to die on me. I'll be right back. Let me go grab it.
Oh yeah.
Give me a second.
Joe's got to grab his phone charger because it only exists in the past. It's a very specific phone charger. It's from this company called Android. It was created in the 1960s. For some reason, it's still around. I don't know why. A lot of people seem to really like it because of the charging mechanism, the interface of the tip, and that's what people are focused on. You know, Apple's got a different tip. A lot of phones just prefer a different tip, and you know, Joe's phone does prefer a specific tip, and that's okay. Who am I to judge? I'm not saying that one tip is better than the other, but Joe's tip seems to be more versatile, seems to work with more electronic devices than just my phone, which my tip only works with one item that I own. Whereas if I had Joe's tip, it would work for like multiple of my items that I own, because I own multiple items that all have the same input, but my iPhone only has one tip that it uses. So that's pretty cool.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about over there?
Talking about tips.
Actually, don't tell me what you're talking. It's gonna scare me. Okay, here we go.
If you're an intelligence, are you going to go down on a planet with a bunch of angry monkeys who might kill you? No, unlikely. You'll send some intermediary. Well, what kind of intermediary are you going to send? You're going to send something that maybe almost looks like them, but isn't them. So I think, and this is, again, from inside the intelligence community, most of what we think we're seeing are avatars, biological robots that are basically put there to be the minions, if you will.
So, dude, what is that? Like, that's, I mean, he's just talking about the ideas, the theories, right? It seems very, very forward to kind of be like, well, the understanding is that maybe they're just avatars.
Seems like he's been listening to the UFO culture for a while. Seems like he knows his terminology. That's what it feels like to me, which is awesome. Am I going down a different path than you expected?
No, I mean, he's been doing this for a while, so like he's probably been in it. Well,
probably longer than we have.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably been around a lot, and I'm sure he talks to way more people than we do about this subject. So obviously he's good. He knows more than we do. I don't even know why we're having this discussion. Like, you think he knows more than us?
I mean, that's not the discussion.
That's not what we're saying. But
what I'm saying is like,
you don't think he knows more than us, dude?
Fuck, dude.
Yeah. Oh god.
You think he knows about more than these minions?
Yeah.
Well,
I think he does. I think he does.
I
I don't know. I just think like it's kind of crazy that like
there's more than this toaster.
No. I just think it's weird that like with all of these, like with all the theories that we have, all the different ideas that are on the table, that like this is the one that he went with. You know, I'm like, what are those things? If we're talking about the ETs, right? What are they? Like of all the ideas that are on the table, it's strange that he picked that one.
He could have chose. There's a lot of stories, accounts, experiencer accounts that he could have chose. And yeah, I think there's some significance here for sure. Dude.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting, and especially when like most of these clips have started with, "Well, the intelligence agency is telling me," that's another thing that worries me too. It's like, okay, I don't get it.
Does he really? Does he start a lot of? I don't feel like he starts a lot of sentences with like.
Well, everything that's been like verified, and Tucker Carlson will be like, of all the people that and he's like, yeah, I mean the intelligence agency, the CIA, Kit Green, all these people are in the intelligence agency. Everybody's talking about is in the intelligence agency, or like worked alongside with them, everybody. So I mean, he's getting his information from there.
Right.
He's not watching the UFO Garage podcast and talking about shit. Like he's getting his information from the intelligence agency. So,
dude, like imagine if he name dropped. He's like, look, we all know in secret circles that
that the garage has all the information.
Where you get all your information, and then you extrapolate from there.
They've been sitting on so much info. They've been hiding it from the world.
Yeah.
Not at all, man. Not at all. I wish. That'd be dope. All right, here we go. We're almost done, dude. We're about to make it.
Of the ants as well. Let's say that there were a race of intelligent ants at the bottom of your garden. How do you tell them about Instagram? Right? How do you talk with them? How do you interact with them? You would probably make something that looked almost like an ant, and you'd put it down there. But then how are you going to interact with them? Well, with pheromones, that's how they talk. But you do something else, right? You're speaking about whatever it is you talk about at the dinner table, but to translate down to their terms, you would have to use some sort of an intermediary. So it's kind of a lost in translation problem, right?
Yeah, that's crazy. I always hear the ant analogy, but this ant analogy was really good.
This is the best ant analogy that I've ever heard. Yeah. It hits so hard because, dude, think about what a gray looks like. It's almost human.
It's almost, yeah.
It has 2 eyes. It has nostrils. It has a mouth. It has 2 arms, 2 legs. It has some fingers and toes, sometimes less, sometimes more. Like, they get pretty damn close, and it makes me think of those David Attenborough videos.
Dude.
Like yeah, we see a baby penguin. And, like, there's, like, a robot penguin that goes in there and, like, infiltrates the shit.
Just chilling, yeah.
And he's, like, listening to all the penguins talking shit about each other. Like, my wife's slow as shit. We'll probably won't come back till spring.
I know, I've been sitting out here on this egg for weeks.
My butt's, like, in the shape of this egg, but in reverse, you know what I'm saying?
But, yeah, no, that's exactly kind of what it's like. Because, I mean, they even, like, put those, like, those fake groundhogs or what was it? The fake meerkats or whatever out.
Yeah,
and
yes, yeah.
And they kept going to check it out, and they were like, "What the hell is this?" And
like they would accept it for a little while, and no matter what species it is, they'll accept it for a little while, and then it eventually destroy it.
Yeah, like they're not having it. They're like,
yeah,
you're not one of us, really. You know,
like.
Yeah, dude.
Like, we get it. Like, you look, okay, well, you got the 2 eyes and the mouth and all that, but fuck you.
Yeah, but it's a communication problem, right?
Yeah.
It's being able to, like, communicate. How are you going to do that? How do you explain to them? Like, yeah, it's an intelligent race of ants, but how do I explain to them the stuff that I talk about at the dinner table? They communicate in pheromones. How am I going to get my point across? That means I now have to learn how to talk through pheromone in order to communicate. I wouldn't expect them to learn English.
Right.
It would have to go the opposite way. So like maybe we're just in this waiting game where like we're just waiting on them to like learn how to talk to us. I don't know.
Shit.
Who knows, dude?
I mean, I love everything about it.
Let's see where he goes.
Together. And people say to me, well, why are you talking about it on this show or that show? I said, because this is above politics.
Yes, it certainly is.
It has to be.
We've been talking about this
this
since day
in a
one,
non-political
bro.
way. then why are we bothering with anything? We might as well just silo ourselves and build walls around everybody.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
We've been talking about this shit since day one. Like, it's one of those things where, like, Joe, you're a genius when it comes to let's not set the bar too high, but like, you know a shit ton about politics.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't.
You actually like people don't know like you're really like you know your shit.
I pay attention.
Pay attention. And we've had a couple episodes where it got on tangents.
It's easy to kind of know about politics when you hate it. Let me tell you everything I hate about politics.
Yeah.
And
I love those. I love it when you go on rants like that. I fucking love it, dude. I can feel the heat, dude. It's like sitting on a friggin' butt warmer in a car, you know.
I have my little Alex Jones moments.
Yeah.
Just start ranting.
Yeah, man. You start sweating, your face gets beat red.
Oh god.
I miss those days.
Yeah.
But we've always been talking about like, dude, this topic covers everything. And
It touches every aspect of your life, you know? And it's weird because it touches every aspect of your life, but that doesn't mean that you need to be inserting your own like personal shit into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it touches your politics, it touches your religion, it touches your personal life, but at the same time, don't throw your politics into this. Don't throw your religion into this. Don't throw your personal opinions into this. Like, you don't even know what the fuck it is yet. Don't be relating it to stuff that is just humanly stuff.
Yeah.
Don't be relating that to whatever this is. If it turns out that it is connected, then cool. Then we can go from there. But until then, don't do that. That doesn't even seem like a good idea to do that. Why would you put your own like your own humanly ideas on like I don't know.
I think it's natural. It's just a natural reaction, and what I think we agree on is that what you're saying is don't put your humanly ways of thinking on something that has nothing to do with you.
Yeah, like don't watch this and then be one of those people that is like shitting all over it because it came on Fox, right? If you do, you're an idiot if you do that, right? This message is bigger than that. But there are people that will look at this interview and then look at the emblem down the corner and be like, "Oh, Fox, this is bullshit. I'm changing it." Right?
Well, there's been plenty of people that like I tweeted this out like the day it went out when Melinda Leslie just fucking tweeted it like, or she posted about it like the minute it went live. Like, how did she know this was going? That's awesome. And like immediately people were like, "Oh, fucking Fox. First off, it's not mainstream media news." But fuck.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's like
someone needs a nap.
That's your first thing out of your mouth about this? Like, you're mad it's on Fox? Like, what do you want? What do you want?
It sounds like Agent what's in the Matrix. There's like a Agent K syndrome where it's like anytime you challenge someone's reality as a program, they attack you. Or it's also depicted in Inception, where like once you figure out it's a dream, your manifestations of yourself and other people, once they know that you're aware, so they attack you and they try to kill you, and that's why you like die in your dream and shit.
Yeah,
It's like once you try to wake up, like
everybody's
don't
mad
want
at
you to wake up.
Oh, I was not sleepy anymore.
I was not saying. Look. It's not that I want to kill. It's not that I wanted to kill you. It's because I'm sleepy.
I was no sleepy no more.
I was hungry.
So right here, he's talking about his own personal experience, which is kind of cool.
Oh, my shadow in front of me, and then the shadow started moving, and I looked up, and this object went, right at the level of the top of the trees, went right over my head. with lights shining down. I could kind of see the outline of something round.
How big
No
was it?
sign, probably 30, 40 feet across.
Wow.
And I mean, it was unmistakable. I wasn't dreaming, I wasn't asleep, etc. But I didn't call it a UFO. I didn't know what it was. I just didn't know what it was. And it wasn't until a decade or so later when, you start seeing movies, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, that kind of stuff. I thought, is that what I saw?
Dude, how many times, like, how many people do you think that happened to?
I mean, we've talked to 1,000 people now.
Oh, well, I mean, just like, he's talking about this, like, hey, I was like a little kid and I saw this random thing, but like, then movies like that started coming out where they started making it a lot more real. And then
I see what you mean.
People started kind of being like, damn, when I was 12, I saw something kind of like that. I always kind of never thought about it, but now that this movie's here and other people are talking about it, holy shit, I think maybe maybe I had an encounter.
Again, with the cyclical thing, right? We talked about it at the beginning of the episode, where culture, experience, the zeitgeist seems to reset. Not reset, but maybe build upon. It's like a spiral. It's like a screw. It's the same curvature. It's the same shit. It's different level.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like it. I think we're learning. As long as the
do
internet's a thing, we keep learning, right?
We're gonna be just fine as long as the
The internet's not a thing. Like, it's just perpetual motion.
All right.
Oh my god.
We got 4 more, or after this,
4 more hours.
4 more.
No. We didn't tell
clips.
everybody we're gonna do a 24-hour show right tonight.
No, definitely not. 4 more of these little clips. Here we go.
Put things in perspective. So
I was gonna say, was it around the time of the big phone home when it happened, when it first went off, and Lou, great dude, invited us, and then we were like, we should do our own show, where it's like 36. I think wasn't it afterwards where we were like, well, let's do our own show. It's 36 hours straight.
36 hours.
It's just like a bunch of us taking naps.
You take a nap, and then I take a nap. And then you take a nap.
Go to eat, like we're like eating breakfast.
36-hour show, that would suck.
Well, the first time it was like 3 days, and we were like, let's do like a full week of just constant. We're online.
Dude, I would not be able to do it.
Honestly, it would be pretty simple to forget that you're alive. Like, I'd fart so much, dude.
I mean, yeah, but if it's your event, I mean, you wouldn't forget.
People would get it, We would at least let people know, like, hey, there will be blasts from the ass.
So when you hear other people's stories about this stuff, I feel inherently like I want to protect them. Yep. I want to help them not be attacked for something that they saw, because it's wrong.
Yeah, 100%. I feel that. I love that he said that. Yeah. When people come to me and talk to me about this stuff, or I have to study this stuff, I want it to be a place where people can come and talk to me. And I think it's wrong for people to look down on people who are having these experiences. Yeah. And that's so important for someone like him to say that. Because I think that's been a huge thing, especially with experiencers. It seems like the consensus is that, yeah, we don't really tell a lot of people because they get weirded out or treat us like shit. So it's nice that something like this is being said on TV to a large viewing audience. Like, hey, look, it's happening. You don't have to treat them like they're weird or different. Okay. Yeah. This stuff is happening. It's time to have some compassion. All right. I think that's huge. That's one of the biggest things on this whole interview that I absolutely love because I feel the exact same way, man.
Yeah.
Like me and you both, like we've always said, look, we're not here to judge you. You want to talk about it. We're here to listen. You know, this is
Just wanna hear
a judgment-free zone, man.
Judgment-free zone.
Very, very important. I think
He hit the nail on the head.
do your due diligence, right? And
Due diligence.
and have your you know, you have your guard up a little
what
bit.
can you do though? Like as an experiencer, like you can't be the perfect storyteller. That shouldn't be expected. I think this culture of live shows and podcasts and stuff, it's like setting this expectations on, okay, if you're an experiencer, you got to be really good at telling your story. That's not the fucking case. Have you heard our show? Like no. It's not a scripted thing. It's we're having a conversation. And you shouldn't be good at talking about it. It's fucking traumatic. And what we're trying to do is have fun with it and be like, hey, we just want to get to know you and have an open, honest space for you to talk about it. No expectations. And if it, if it doesn't play out exactly like a book you read, like, doesn't matter to us. We have a great time.
Yeah.
Exactly. Our listeners do too,
Hell yeah. It's a good spot. It's a good spot to be.
Yeah.
Scientists should be interested in things that they don't understand, and we shouldn't take anything off the table. Right?
Scientists should be interested in things they don't understand. Right? That's the whole point.
That's the whole point of it.
Again, just reinforcing it. Like, look, dude, if you're a scientist, you got to stop saying that this shit is a waste of time, irrelevant, not important. You got to stop. Like,
Yeah.
If I think it's starting to switch to where like if you're like a scientist and you say things like that, I think people should start making fun of you.
Yeah.
Like, you're not a real scientist. Get out of here.
You're not a real scientist.
You're not curious.
Sorry, I didn't see doctor. What front of your scientist name? How are you?
All right, that was a quick one. I just thought that was an important point. Here we go.
Obvious question, which is, how can we have a society in which many people have firsthand experience of these things, in which mountains of data exist proving that there's something there that we don't understand, and yet there's still this social sanction levied against anyone who mentions it? Like, what is that?
Well, I mean, it was directed misinformation and disinformation. And so one of the things, you might want to look at the language of the new bill that just came out today. Literally, Lou sent it to me, exclamation points, saying, we want you to catalog, the intelligence services, all the attempts at obfuscation and disinformation of the U.S. public that you have been doing.
Beginning with Roswell.
Yes.
1947. Right. Actually, there was a case 2 years before Roswell, but that is not really very well known.
They don't know about the Aurora incident.
It was very close to Roswell.
Trinity, New Mexico?
New Mexico, yeah.
See, Tucker even knew about the Trinity
case. But, the reason why that's important is because, people's lives were ruined, right? People's careers were derailed. And, it's not that we need to go back and fix all of that and, come up with some kind of, monetary compensation for those individuals. But I think vis-a-vis the PTSD issue, sometimes people just want to know that that when they were called crazy, that somebody finally says you weren't.
Of course.
But going forward now, I mean, we might not be able to fix the past, but let's not recreate the past.
And the truth is worth telling for its own sake.
Yeah.
It's just, it's a virtue to tell the truth, period.
And
perfect. Dude, I mean, I'm so glad that somebody said that out loud. Like, look, yeah, they did a lot of terrible things. We know that. Not much we can do about it, but I think it's important that going forward, we don't put people in that position anymore. Yeah. I don't think we should be offering any sort of like monetary gain or anything, but I like the idea that he was hinting towards like, I think a simple apology, and then just all those people that have been called crazy, for you to tell them that they're not crazy is is good enough. Like
That's good
we
enough.
have to stop that, you know?
I mean, we can't speak for the people that have had horrendous incidences, with, dare I say, I mean, do we want to get into the program that involves?
I mean,
children?
I don't even think we need to. I think there's been a lot of talk of that in the chat this evening. So
Yeah.
people are well aware,
Yeah. So
And-
but I don't think those people, I mean, I can't speak for them, but is an apology even worth it? Is money even is money even going to replace that?
No.
Those years, the money can't replace time, right?
No, not at all. Not at all.
So apologies can live on, truth can live on in perpetuity. Like if they came out with the truth, that would live forever. Money doesn't last. Truth
Yeah,
does,
for sure. And sure, maybe some people would be like, "Hey, shit, I'll take a settlement, right?" But then at the same time, it's like,
J.G. Wentworth.
yeah.
Sorry, I just ruined that kind of pretty dope moment, right?
I have a structured settlement, and I need cash
now.
now. No, but I
Fucking
think
guy never saw the light of battle, dude. He was an old guy with a mustache.
I definitely think it's just very important that, that we do not skip over the negative shit. Like we have to recognize what happened, especially since this is all for a lot of people, this is news, right? They're like, oh, aliens are real. Wait, what? And then they're going to start diving into it, and they're going to be like, man, these guys have been doing a good job trying to figure all this out for such a long time. And then there's going to be a lot of people left that are like, no. They really screwed up a lot of people and messed a lot of stuff up. Don't give them that much credit, right?
Yeah.
We can give credit where credit's due. Obviously, that's the fair thing to do. Thank you for all the positive stuff that has happened, right? But at the same time, it didn't come easily. And there's a lot of people who need to be recognized for the work that they have put in and the criticism that they have taken over the years over this subject. So,
Oh man, I have some shit to say about that, but I feel like I'm gonna do a terrible job. So I'm gonna save it. Just having to do with making money in this industry. This industry, it's a fucking I know anything about it.
Yeah.
We're
I think
you know where I'm going with that, right?
yeah, for sure.
It's not an industry. It's something that we fell into on accident, and we're like, hey, it'd be cool if this was our full-time job, and then we tried to figure it out. It's not. We weren't about it.
Yeah, it's a very double-edged sword,
In order to make money, dude, it sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks the things you have to do.
It's just not as fun.
Yeah, it's not as
All that. Yeah, it's a hassle. It's a hassle. But
we want to have fun and we want to figure some shit out for free. We want to hang out, talk once a week.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, but
And wear a hat.
I thought this interview was absolutely amazing. That was the last little clip. Like I said, it's just been a wild ride for us because all this stuff that is kind of slowly trickling out is kind of spot on to what we've been working on with this documentary.
Yeah.
And it's just very man, it's satisfying, and
Vindicating.
dude, I don't know, it just makes me happy, right? It makes me happy that wow, we kind of hit the nail on the head with this one.
Well, it's just finally being it feels good. As you and I are both creative dudes,
Yeah.
and we've yet to find our niche on something that totally hits. and we finally did it. And
Yeah.
look, I'm not saying we're famous or like we're anything. Like we're not shit, dude. There's so many other people saying the exact same stuff as we did, but like we're totally closed off from those people. We don't. It's just me and Joe and like a few other people,
Yeah.
bro. Like it's so small, and the fact that we were able to like figure some shit out in the time that we did is so special.
It's really cool, man. It's really cool. So there's going to be, a lot of stuff with Gary Nolan and this information. I mean, there's going to be a lot of cool stuff coming out in the documentary. It's going to be pretty awesome. We just shout out to Toop, man. This
Chupacabra.
Yeah.
Sam.
We just got the new trailer out, and it's going to be
Got a good cast.
Freaking epic. Look at the
showing
cast.
The photo of A Bug's Life
right now.
Those listening, and the Minions are gonna probably show up.
Are you gonna play the trailer or no?
I'm sorry, I ruined that.
I set that whole thing up.
I know.
You didn't even play the trailer. God.
Yeah, we can play it.
Oh, you had it up earlier. That's why I thought you were doing that.
I'm gonna. All right, 1 second. Let's play the trailer, boys and girls.
Gordian wants the doc on VHS.
You know that only the best things are on VHS.
That's right. Like that Genie movie with Sinbad in it.
That only exists on. You know why no one's ever seen it? Is because it was only released on VHS, and he bought all the VHSs.
God damn.
God damn. All right, so if you are interested in the documentary Joe and I have been working on for the past 3 years with a gentleman named Eric Mitchell, the documentary is called Experiencer, and we're gonna play the trailer. Edited this trailer's edited by Sam Lingle, Chupacabra. Dude, he did such a fantastic job. I'm freaking stoked.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Go outside. Go meet my friends. Be good. Be a good boy. Come on. Oh, oh.
Everybody has a story. Everybody has a piece of the puzzle.
This subject is misrepresented in this community by people who might be claiming, for instance, that all alien abductions are all the military. Can I say this on here? You guys can edit it if I can't. Bullshit. Okay, I'll just call it.
How do you even register the fact that this kind of thing is going on? Your brain puts it, if you're a healthy person, your brain puts it into denial 100% of the time.
It's insane, the journey that we've been on from where we started, just you and me.
The chances of having humanoids with advanced technology far beyond ours, I would be willing to bet 100%.
Again, it could start out with the low-grade harassment surveillance. Monitoring, being watched, being followed, the black helicopter harassment.
And this thing just became so much bigger than we thought it was going to be.
Beings come into our home and take us out of the home, sometimes physically, sometimes in an astral form, which seems like a dream, but it's not a dream. It gets really bizarre when you look into those things, but we're all having them.
It just came directly towards y'all?
Yeah, and the light started flashing.
And what the hell was I looking at? In that way, like feeling like a magnet back and forth, and it just, boom.
So good, dude. It sounds amazing in the headphones. It's starting to feel like a movie. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just coming together, and it's so awesome.
It sounds so great in the headphones, dude. Sam did a great freaking job with the audio. I was
really
that was the biggest thing. Like people don't know. that movies, documentaries, it's not about the video that you get. It's about the audio. If you don't have good audio, it sucks.
Yeah.
He does a great job.
I love in the title portion at the end how like we have the laser on the one that we see going.
Yes.
But in that there's actually a double that we caught. There's another one right over on the other side. There's two of them moving.
I remember that one. There's a third one. Remember the stationary one? That kept blinking in the exact same spot?
Yeah.
Never moved. Like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Pretty awesome, man. Pretty awesome. I'm excited. You guys stay tuned. That's going to be coming out sooner than later. That's for sure.
Sooner than later, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm freaking stoked. It's going to be great. You guys go hang out with come hang out with us, every week. We try to do at least 2 Tuesdays a month. Like I said, things have been kind of crazy, but we're kind of getting back on track. Every Thursdays, we're here. Go check us out, UFOGaragePodcast.com. We've got a lot of cool stuff over there. You can catch all of our episodes on the website as well if you want to catch up with all the episodes. Yeah, dude.
And we're also on Spotify, iTunes, anywhere you listen to podcasts. We are there. And to talk into your sweet little baby ears, sweet little tiny baby ears. Joe, you can hear Joe's thundering voice anytime you want. So just think about that.
That's right. Every Thursday. My thundering voice.
Thundering. Just full of hope and desire. And mostly hope,
Mostly.
But what I think most people are thinking about is cervezas.
I am. I'm about to go get one right now and eat some food.
Tacos.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a really good episode. I've enjoyed this. All right, man. Well, hey, y'all come back next Thursday and hang out with us, all right? Because this has been another episode of UFO Garage. Hey, man, we'll talk to y'all next time.
Peace, y'all.
Bye. UFO Garage.